All right, all right. Looks like we are live for the show. What's good, everyone? OJ here from PlayerEssence. I am glad to be coming at you live from California. We are going to have a great show today, man. We've got more backlash from the whole PR. I mean, I can only see this as a PR nightmare right now for Sony at this point. This is like the only thing, like it's a PR nightmare. They went on a blackout. They went on a, like, they've decided to hide. They've decided to hide. So I am going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some new rumors, Switch 2 games, some stuff that's potentially happening. According to the interwebs, we've got Metroid, we've got Live Alive, we've got GTA, we've got all sorts of situations that we're going to go over, that we can talk about here, guys. So that's going to be fun. If you have not hit that like button, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe to the channel. We've got, like I said, a lot of good news to go over. Well, a lot of just stuff to talk about. Not even all good news, but just a lot of stuff to talk about. So, all right, let's get into the shout-outs, though. I think that's in order. So if you're here, make sure you say what up, and I will say hi to you guys in the order that you have commented. Dior, like always. Shout outs to the general. Dior, like always. What's good, Dior? Party Man is here. What's up, Party Man? Welcome. Daniel Carney. What's up, Daniel? What is good? What is good? Dane Gonzalez is here as well. What's up, Dane? Welcome. All right, let's see here. Also, Kevin EP9JD, what up, man? Never be game over. Intergalactic, the hairless prophet. All right, interesting. Oh, because she's bald. Ah, there you go. I see. Let's see here. Broads Gamer, what's up, Broads Gamer? Welcome. Boo Boo, what up, Boo Boo? The Great Wada. What is good? Hey, OJ, man, still don't want to accept everything be digital? No, I'm not doing it, bro. I had a video today talking about it. I got a video Sunday as well talking about it. I recorded an extra video. So, I talked about that as well. Ninmar, what's up, Ninmar? Welcome. What's up, Yoshi? Yoshi! Bulk86. Yo, 91 Gamer Boy. What's good, guys? Welcome. Cold K. What is up, Cold K? What is good? I'm doing good today. I'm doing good today. The Wise White. The Wise White says, new here. What's up, everyone? What's up, man? Welcome. Renna Hobog. Hey, what's up, Renna? Elias is here. King Tree Freak. Red Burnage. Or Red Cyber Mage. Sorry. Red Cyber Mage. What is good? Orny. General Zambrora. Oh, man. Senju. Hey, what up, Senju? What's good, OJ? This is the first time I've seen Sony fans actually going against PlayStation and growing a backbone. I've seen it a few times. I've seen it because I've been on the internet since, you know, the PS. I've been covering gaming since like the PS3, the Wii, PS3, and 360 days. So that's when I first started covering gaming, was in that generation. So I've seen, and I mean, even before that, like I've seen like online, you know, people push against Sony's pricing with the PS3. I've seen people push against Sony's PS Vita situation that they had going on with the memory cards. I've seen people put, I mean, there's been very certain times that people have pushed back pretty hard against some stuff. PSP Go, you know, PS Vita memory sticks, PS3 pricing. Yeah, the last one that was this big was the PS3 pricing fiasco. The PS4, they pretty much came off unscathed for the most part. I mean, there was some things, but it was never anything that crazy. Like, nothing was ever that crazy. Or this crazy. But this is by far the biggest pushback that we've seen since the PS3 pricing. So it's been 20 years, actually. It'll be 20 years this... Oh, actually, no. It's been over 20 years since they revealed it, I think, in 2005, right? Then it came out in 2006. But the backlash was all the way through. So it's been 20 years since that type of pushback that we saw, like, on N4G. Back then, people used to comment on N4G. That was the place where you would get all the spicy takes and comments. It was essentially like Twitter for gamers. I don't know if you guys know about N4G, News for Gamers. It was just basically, it was a moderated Twitter account for gaming, but just strictly for gaming. You would see topics at the top. You would see a bunch of different ones based off of how popular they are, and then you would get bubbles. And based on how many bubbles you had, you would be able to talk more, put another comment. So if you were if you were dumb as hell and people didn't like what you said, they can downvote you. So then you'd get less bubbles or more bubbles based on how many times people upvote you. So it actually has a built-in like social credit system. Like the better gamer and like the better you know, the more knowledgeable you are, the more bubbles you'll get, the more you can talk in a thread. Whereas if you're dumb or you're trolling, you're probably only gonna have like a bubble or two, you know? So it was a pretty cool system. But yeah, nobody really, I mean, people go on there, but it ain't like it used to be, you know? But on N4G, man, it was crazy on there, bro. It was crazy on there. Let's see here. What's up, Dank? I missed the N4G days. N4G was awesome. I used to go on there like every day. I used to go on there. Those guys made a bazillion dollars, man. That early ad revenue, they probably made enough money to be set for life off that website. I don't know who people who run it, but whoever they were ingenious. That was a brilliant website for the time. Check the link I sent you. All right, I'll check it in just a bit. We're just starting up here, Elias, so I'll check it out in just a bit. Peter C. Wagner with the 97. Peter C. Wagner, 97 with the 20. And he says, happy Friday, everyone. Rip PlayStation at home. Love that game. Now to the serious topic. Let me get this here.
Happy JOJO Friday.
And Renna with the JOJO. We're going to play the JOJO boys and girls in the chat too. Let's go. Thank you so much. But let me finish off reading what Peter has to say here. Thank you, Renna, with the Big 10. Thank you, Peter, with the $20 JOJO. Would you recommend Romancing Saga 2? Yes. I haven't made my video on it, but I've been talking about it like crazy. It's so funny that you say that. Dude, if maybe you've missed some of the times that I've talked about it, but that is one of the best Square Enix games ever made. It is fantastic. You got to know how to play it, though. Like, you got to know what you're doing, but if you know what you're doing, it is phenomenal. It is one of the best games. Oh my god, it's so good. I recommend it. I recommend it 100%. It's very good. Very, very, very good. One of my favorite RPGs out there in today's day. Very good. Highly, highly, highly recommend Romancing Saga 2. It's a very, very, very good game. Very, very good. I actually pretty much beat most of pretty much everything that you can in one run. So yeah, I even beat like the special super hard end game bosses and all that. So I even beat all that and unlocked all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, absolutely, I recommend it. Absolutely recommend it, Peter. It is a phenomenal experience. It's jarring, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but just push back, just keep going. Like, there's a really jarring point where you're like, what the heck just happened? But just keep pushing, just keep going through it, and then you understand what they're trying to do. I mean, it's not executed the best because they don't have the money to do it, but like it's still really good. It's still really well done. You know, it's just kind of weird, but it's great. Peter C, thank you for the big $20. You now the whole Kogan stream. So anybody else 20 or more, you can be up, my man. Peter at the top of the board, or you can tie him up, of course. Shout outs to Renna as well. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Peter. Peter C, big 20. 3 JoJos on the board already. You guys are out here on JoJo Fridays already. Let's go. All right, let me open up Twitter. Let me get through this opening just so we can do that first. Like, if you guys want to just hold off on sending me links until after we've kind of, you know, finished up what's going on, you know, at the beginning here, just because I don't want to fall too far behind. I don't see anything you've sent me, to be honest, Elias. Yeah, I don't see any DM that you sent me. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. But, yeah, you want to resend it or something? That'd be cool. Excited to see how Rhythm Heaven Groove launch sales do. I mean, it's Rhythm Heaven. I mean, it's not, don't expect much from Rhythm Heaven launch sales. Guys, Nintendo just made it because they're like, hey, why not? We got an extra people or we got a team that can put together something, but don't expect much from Rhythm Heaven, man. That's not a series that's going to be based off of sales. Like, if it continues, they'll just do it when they feel like it. They'll just make them when they feel like it, or if it's relevant, or if they have extra time. It's not a series that's going to be like a big seller or anything like that. So don't expect much from that, man. You're the DM. Oh, okay, got you. Oh, okay, I thought you sent something through via Twitter. Okay, yeah. I mean, don't send me anything from Tripster, man. I don't care, man. I don't care anything from Tripster, dude. So yeah, don't. I know there's somebody that's parroting him and all that, but nah, I'm good, man. I'm not trying to waste any time on that weirdo. I'm good. But thank you, I appreciate it. I did see some of that earlier, but it's just like, it's not worth addressing or mentioning.
In 2028, I'll be playing Xenoblade Genesis Physical, while
Yep.
digital-only advocates will be entering their social security numbers to access their $100 digital licenses that expire when PS7 launches. Happy this community will still be here for physical games.
Yes. We've got to be the bastions of physical games. We've got to do it right. We've got to be the JOJOs. We've got to be the JOJOs of physical games when it comes down to it. So we got to do it. Yeah, shout out to Elias, but I didn't mean to brush it off. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, don't ever send me anything from that guy. Like, he's a complete idiot. Like, I'm not wasting any time on him, you know? I have him blocked, so yeah, there's no point in addressing anything to do with that guy. He's literally a schizo, so I'm good. Let's see here. Just finally broken when he comes to mentality, especially when it. Yeah, guys, I don't care. I'm just gonna flat out say I don't care. So I'm not addressing that idiot on here. He's not worth our time, guys. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Thank you, Dane, with the 3 though. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 3. Smart for Sony to say it with no big to do and set it 3 years on the future. One day you'll just not see a disc boss and then you'll already be used to it. First of all, I don't know where you learned how to count, but that is not 3 years into the future. Like, I don't know. Let me see. Let me check. We're in 2026. They said January 2028. We're halfway through 2026. That means in 6 months, we'll be in less than 6 months. We'll be in 2027. Now, 7 + 1 = 8. They said January 2028. I don't know how that means 3 years. I don't know where you got 3 years from. Even if you were counting it from right now and you were counting calendar years, that's not even 3 years. That is 2 years. And it's under 2 years if you're counting calendar years. I mean, it's 2 years. So I have no idea what you're talking about, J Ponce. Shinru with the Udabudo splash.
Lurking in the back while playing Dying Light 2. Hope all you ninjas are having a good Friday.
Yep.
What's the plan tomorrow, OJ? Launching fireworks for the 250th? I ain't cooking in this heat, lol. Any track from Mario Kart World, my guy.
Yeah,
JoJo's PLS.
Thank you for the JoJo. I appreciate the blast that ties you up with Peter C on this glorious JoJo. Friday, baby! Thank you guys for the $10 and up. Get those JoJos for today. I appreciate that. We hype, we litty in the piece. And yeah, I'm gonna be cooking some burgers. I'm gonna cook burgers though, but I'm gonna cook it in my like hybrid Foreman grill. So I got it in a hybrid Foreman grill. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be cooking some burgers. No fireworks. I'll probably watch some outside because like people always shoot crazy fireworks. So I'll probably watch some, but nothing too crazy. Just maybe like a burger, one burger for me, some chips, some salsa, maybe a Diet Coke, and yeah, hanging out with the family. I'll probably stream though. I'll probably stream like in the morning or something like that. So I'll probably stream early. But my wife, she doesn't like 4th of July. She's not from here, so I mean, she doesn't like 4th of July. Not that because she hates here or anything, but just because she's just not from here. So she doesn't have the same type of like, oh, 4th of July. You know, so I think for here, 4th of July is always more fun as a kid than it is as an adult. As an adult, you're thinking about your car getting hit with something. You're thinking about everything that, like, somebody's finger getting blown off. You're thinking about fires. You're thinking about how hot it's going to be with all the smoke and the fireworks. Like, you're not thinking about, oh, wow, look at the cool fireworks. Like, you're thinking about all the things that can go wrong on 4th of July. So I think that's my thing with 4th of July. It's like I'm thinking about everything that can go wrong instead of having fun, which I should be thinking about having fun, but it's almost impossible when you become an adult to think about, about fireworks, because fireworks are dangerous and they've caused deaths and they've caused people's fingers getting blown off, people's eyes getting shot out. Like, it's not a fun sight, bottle rockets and things like that, so I'm just like I said, I'm lame right now, and I'm definitely lame. Definitely lame when it comes to these type of things. So, thank you for the 200 jewels too. The casual noob, thank you for the flow state 200 jewels, and thank you Dan with the $2 no. It's a split. Split is the lie stuff, like the V-Bucks counts as digital. That's what I'm saying, man. Daniel makes a good point. Like, do the V-Bucks and stuff like that count as digital sales? Like, it's completely. People are lying on the internet. Like, I gotta talk to. I have this hip hop gamer. Hip hop gamer is going on Sony crusades to sit there and try to justify doing this. I gotta listen to what he has to say. We gotta listen to this. Shout outs to Eve W with the 1,000 corgi jewels. Hey yo, appreciate that. Let's go. Thank you for the combo breaker. Thank you so much for the combo breaker. 1,000 corgi jewels in the house. Burgers, are they charcoal? No, they're not charcoal burgers. They're just gonna be like I said, in my hybrid Foreman air fryer grill, so we can kind of drain out a lot of the fat. So no, not charcoal. I don't have a charcoal grill yet, but I'm gonna get one. We're doing our backyard probably this year. It's just some things got kind of tied up. I didn't have as much as I wanted to redo the backyard, so we've just been able to kind of just do piece by piece. But I need to like do the backyard, and then once I do that, then it'll be better to, you know, to do like the whole charcoal grill and all that type of stuff. So I'll probably be better next year to get that done. This year's a little bit tight, but next year will probably be better for me. Let's see here. I beat Xenoblade 1 today, and it was awesome that I beaten them all. Nice. Let's go, Daniel. Player says, what I don't get is Nintendo fans saying the key cards are somehow a good thing now and count as true physical media just because Sony screwed up. Basically, what people like. Listen, I don't think key cards are like the answer, like the key, pardon the pun, or anything like that. But people are saying that key cards give you more ownership over a digital game or over a game than no physical thing at all, because the thing about digital games is that they're tied to accounts. Okay, they're tied to accounts. They're not tied to like the media. Physical media is tied to something physical. It's not tied to account. There's no such thing as a physical game tied to an account. You know, game keycards tie the game to the physical media. So a game keycard is a hybrid between physical media and digital media. It's physical media when it comes to, you know, owning it, like being able to sell it, you know, and the rights to that game. It's on the key card. It's not on your account. It's a digital game though. It's downloaded digitally, but how you play that game is simply through that physical media, just like a physical game. So that's the reason why some people are saying, well, game key cards are at least like something, you know, something that's tangible, unlike all digital. Like if you had to pick between a game key card and all digital, obviously having the option of a game key card is better than just simply having the option of just digital. Because remember, you still get the option of buying a game digital, and you can also have a game key card, and if a developer does a physical game, then obviously there's a physical game. So I think that's the reason why some fans are saying, oh, well, I guess the game key cards aren't so bad now. Well, yeah, because they still tie it to where you can buy, sell, trade, or whatever that game itself, like a typical physical game, you know? So that's the reason. And once again, yes, another big point is that game key cards still allow for competitive pricing. You know how many game key cards you can find on sale right now? If you go online or if you go on the eShop, and you'll see certain games that are game key cards, they're full price. But if you go on Amazon or if you go on Target or Walmart or whatever, you'll find game key cards and games just in general, but you'll find games discounted all the time. You know, like for example, even like right now, I think like Kirby Air Riders, that's like $50 at a lot of places where it's $70 on the eShop. So it's just like a physical game to where you can find discounts and sales and all of that, which is what really this is about. It's about ownership and finding sales in different, you know, marketplaces for you to buy your games. So that's the reason why that people are like, okay, well, game key cards aren't perfect, but they're better than just all digital, because now you have other options, right? It's a hybrid, like a Switch. There you go. Let's see. Game cards are lesser than the two evils with the digital PC over digital PS6. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lesser of two evils. It still doesn't mean that it's good, and I still will advocate for, you know, developers to put their games full on cart. I mean, I had about 30 people tell me that they bought Orbitals because of me on Twitter the other day. So, you know, I'll still advocate for like, I don't advocate for like game key cards. I don't like, hey guys, go buy the game key card. I don't do all that. You know, I tell people to buy the full physical on cart. And I say, hey, look, if you want to there's certain games that it's not like, you know, it's not going to be able to be on cart. So I mean, if you want to support them because they put the effort into making a Switch 2 version, then that's fine. You know, it's up to you. You know. If Steam launched game key cards today, it would be seen as pro-consumer move because it adds an option and it's not all digital. Yeah, it's because of the makeup of, you know, Steam. Steam is an all-digital platform, so if they added an option where you can buy and sell technically digital games, right, that would be something that they'd be praised for, you know. But the problem is that Nintendo's known for having physical, so that's the problem why it's seen as negative. Yes, a game card is preferred to having not actual physical game at all. Still hoping that more companies will do full game on cartridges. Exactly, me too. I've been buying a lot of full on cart games recently, you know, or I've been pre-ordering a lot of them, and I've been buying all the Nintendo first party stuff. Hey, what's up, Bead Queen? Welcome to the stream, young lady. Bead Queen, what happened to that person that was on your lawn the other day? What happened there? Did they leave when you told them to leave? Did you yell at them? Did they just get up and go on their own? What happened there? I was actually concerned, but I don't have any contact for you, so I couldn't check in. Keycards are absolutely an important and necessary thing for Nintendo, for anyone who likes cartridges and still have physical copies of their games and third parties won't pay. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo can't force developers to make games full on cart. They did that with the N64 because there was no other option and all the developers just left the platform. So like they can't force devs to make full on cart. Just like they couldn't force devs to do it on Switch 1. A lot of devs would just make a digital only game, a code in a box, or they'd make like a game key card essentially, like Mortal Kombat 1 like Mortal Kombat 11, or like certain cards that required internet, you know. So they can't force them to do it. They're just gonna have to do it on their own, you know. So key card hold value is sealed and the right kind of game, but once it's open, it's pretty much junk on the open market. Well, I mean, it's too early to tell what's gonna be junk or not based off of things, because like there's no market for Nintendo games right now, like Switch 2 games. Everything's right around MSRP or underneath it, even for brand new games, right? So we have to kind of wait a little bit of time before we start talking like open market and what you're going to be able to get and all of that. It's still a bit too early, you know. It's still a bit too early for that. RE9 was one of them. Thankful to have it. Yeah, RE9 was a game key card, but I mean, that one was like, okay, look, we're just happy to get RE9 on the platform day and date. I think that's what people were looking at with that game. I mean, even if it was digital only, I think people would have been like, all right, I don't like digital only, but whatever. We're getting Resident Evil day and date on a Nintendo platform. That's awesome. Like a new Resident Evil. And yeah, there are a lot of people who think that all Nintendo Switch 2 games are on game key cards, but that's because you have liars, we have PC grifters, and you have schizos that, you know, spread misinformation on Twitter. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Viz? Welcome. I did a video today on how I've always been a fan of Nintendo. I just thank them for keeping childhood alive. I used to Star Fox Games as an example. Hey, no problem. Good stuff, man. Hopefully people watch it. If people were against game keys, they would have fought against it in the 7th gen. Well, 7th gen never made you download like parts of the game online. There was only like, yeah, it never made you do that. Not from what I remember. There was some games that made you install, but it was mainly, for the most part, the games came complete on the disc in the 7th gen. That's Xbox 360, PS3, and the Wii, right? Yeah, that's 7th gen. What's up, OJ? Still haven't heard from other people of better alternatives to game keycards. Compressing games sounds nice, but not every dev is compressing games. Well, it's really going to be based on their engine, and it's going to be based off of their development technical know-how and the money that they have. Not every dev can do stuff like that, you know. So it's really going to be dependent on the game. What's up, OJ? Still, I already read that. Well, shout outs to George though. Good to see you here. Gaben did nothing and won. No, he did not, because people aren't going to buy that Steam machine like that. I just watched him, and then my mom came home, and she knew he was there. Her boyfriend was here, so he went and asked if he was okay. He just needed a nap in a cool spot. I guess he'd been walking a lot. Oh my God. Okay, so I guess he was just tired. Okay, yeah. I mean, still though, like you shouldn't be sleeping on people's yards though. Like I mean, I get it though. He was probably tired, and he just felt like, hey, I'm not doing anything. But that's still private property. That's still wrong. You know, and you got to be careful, like, or he needs to be careful because, you know, obviously open carry, you know, so other people might not be so nice. But I mean, obviously you can't just shoot someone for lying down on a yard. I mean, that's illegal, too. So anyway, I'm glad that it worked out just fine then. Game key cards exist since the Switch one. Many games use the smallest size possible, and the rest of the game is download code. Yes, that is true. Yes, that is true. I was very disappointed that IGN did a podcast talking about physical, saying that all Switch 2 games are not fully on cart. They said all. I think they were probably talking about a lot, but yeah, I don't think they meant all. There's no way that they meant all of them. Do you think Puyo Puyo Tetris should have been on a game, not been on a game key card? I don't care about Puyo Puyo Tetris. It's a small, tiny game, though. I mean, I don't think they weren't going to pay for a 64 gigabyte cartridge. Let's see here. I'm concerned with this skyrocketing used game prices of once this production stops. Yeah, that's why you should definitely get what you need to get now. I think devs should just charge extra money for physical copy, like 10 to 15. That's exactly what they're doing with Switch 2. That's exactly what they're doing with Switch 2 right now. So, I mean, I agree. I think that's what Sony should do if they have a problem with the profit margins or whatever. They should just charge a little bit more. I said, just bought 5 physical games: Crimson Desert, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Metal Gear Solid, Stellar Blade, and Days Gone. All this motivated me to do switch more to physical. There you go, David. I agree. I think game key cards wouldn't get as much hate if they weren't given a name. They still would. People would just be saying it even more. I mean, it would just be, they just wouldn't have a name, but it would get as much hate. It would. Here we go again with PC Schizo's logic. Gabe did nothing wrong and won. It's just Felipe being silly. He's just memeing. He's not actually serious. In general, if the game is a game key card, I'll buy it on the PC digitally. If the game is fully on cart, I'll buy it on Switch 2. Some cases might be different though, obviously. That's not me. I'd rather still have the game. I'd rather still have the game to where I can sell it, trade it, borrow it to a friend. I don't want my games tied to an account. So I disagree with the whole, if it's a game key card, buy it on PC. I don't agree with that. Because I can sell my game key card. I cannot sell a PC game. So I disagree with that logic, but I understand why some people do it. Didn't game key discs also exist before key cards? Yes, they did, but they're not as many as the game key cards. Perfect image 89 with the $2 dono and says, PlayerEssence, hey bro, tell me you signed the petition. I did not sign the petition because I don't know if it's gonna do anything. But I can vote with my wallet, so I'm definitely not gonna be buying Sony digital games anymore. And if they, I mean, I'm contemplating, but I made a video talk about, I think I'm done with PS6. Like, I'm not gonna buy the PS6, so we'll see what they do. That video is gonna come out Sunday. I thought it was gonna come out today, but I held off on it. Let me give a little bit more time to see what else information comes out, and we'll see. But I think that video is gonna drop on Sunday. But I mean, I could change my mind, but we'll see. New tracks from Mario Kart World. They're longer than Knockout Tour. Nice update. Good stuff. Yeah, we're gonna play it soon once I get my new capture card. Let's see, he was only on the edge of the yard by the sidewalk. We have 2 big trees in our front yard, so it was shady there. Oh, okay. Well, if he's by the edge there, I mean, I get it. He was just, okay. He was just tired. He just wanted the place to lie down. Okay. At least he was nice enough to do that. He wasn't, I thought he was like in the middle of the yard or like right by your door or something like that. Well, like I said, I'm glad that you're okay and it worked out just fine. Is it worth even buying new PS5 games? I don't even know if the games will be playable in the future. They'll still be playable because you install them to the hard drive. You don't need the online internet for them to work. So they'll be playable in the future. The thing that pisses me off more about how silent Sony stays, it doesn't show any reaction. Yeah, I mean, they're going on a media blackout right now. They're staying quiet. They're hoping that it boils over the 4th of July weekend, but I don't know if it will. Yo, Abby, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome to the Elite Ninja Village. Hey, what's up, Squirrel Swirl? Welcome to the stream. Big love. And shout outs, guys. We're at 57 on the combo board. 3 more combos. We got ourselves a Noah and Mio flying through the skies. Notification. Let's go. Is the Spawncast happening tomorrow? I think we were supposed to record today. I don't know. I forgot. I didn't see it. They were talking about soccer in the freaking thread, so I didn't see when John wanted to record. But it might be tomorrow or it might be today. Or if it's today, I missed it. I missed the recording. Nintendo's being transparent with which games are on cart, which is both good and bad for people. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's good though, ultimately.
I just started getting more physical backlog games because Sony wants to take physical away. That doesn't mean Nintendo will back down for physical games. We all say physical is forever. Can I get any music from Super Mario RPG?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, Simeon Coin with the 100 core crystals. Thank you, Kevin, with the 5. Ninja Peach. There we go. And shout outs to my man Simeon Coin with the 100 core crystals. We're going to get your music coming up here, and I'll read off your message. All right. Final Fantasy Origins. Final Fantasy Origins. FF1. Chaos Temple. PS1 version. This man had that one loaded up. I think this is it. Shout out to Simeon Corn with the 100 core crystals, and it says, OJ, just getting in. I wanted to let you know that I beat Adventures of Elliot in normal difficulty with the playtime of 44 hours and 23 minutes of time of 1:51 p.m. The game itself is excellent, but gameplay is too easy. That's my take and my final thoughts. And my third game I've beaten. My music request is Final Fantasy Origins, FF1, Chaos Temple, and PS1 version. Why did you not change the difficulty? If it was too easy, it has 2 harder difficulty modes that you can change to at any time. So why didn't you just change the difficulty while you were playing? I put it on hard. I didn't put it on the hardest, but I put it on the hard difficulty. So I don't understand. Why don't you just change it? And that would have made it harder. And I'll get your music. Wait a minute, hold up. Well, we're playing your music right now. I'm gonna get the Super Mario RPG music next. Kevin asked for Super Mario RPG music. Okay, cool. My bad, Kevin. We're gonna get your music up next. I got mixed up. Flipping the switch with $5 says Sony has done more for physical media adoption than I could ever imagine. Yeah. My bad flipping the switch that I couldn't come out to the stream yesterday. I had my handful with my son just being terrible twos. So I really couldn't really jump in because he was making like a lot of noise and he was happy to see me. Like I mean I work all in this room, so I don't get to see him a lot. So whenever he sees me, he just starts going, woo! He turns into freaking Tasmanian devil or something like that, man. So I wasn't able to hop in because it would have just been too loud. But I did watch though. I did watch some when I could. So all good, man. Sorry about that though, for sure. I have to get in on the next one though. I have to get in on the next one for sure. Thank you for the 5 though, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the 5. No need for the explanation. Let's see here. Glad you had fun with the nephews. Oh no, it was not my nephews. It was my son. It was my son that day. So it was just him, just being, like I said, he's a handful. He's a handful. He's a handful. So it's just he's a lot dealing with him. So like I said, I wanted to hop in. I wanted to see if I can get him settled in, and I can hop in with my phone and with the headphones. But he was just making way too much noise. But thank you though. I appreciate that. Since I think Xenoblade Switch 2 is the best game ever made. Xenoblade Switch 2. With Xenoblade on Switch 2, all the Xenoblades are on Switch 2. Let's see here. It feels like physical media, but no, you're right about that flipping the switch. I mean, to your point, Sony did a lot for physical. Listen, other third-party companies are gonna see this, man. They're gonna see this. I think it's gonna affect the Switch too. I think third-party companies are gonna be like, well, wait a minute. If we're no longer spending money on producing or manufacturing PlayStation discs, maybe we can put that money into manufacturing Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges. I mean, I hate that. I mean, I think that they probably won't think that way, but I mean, I think some will think that way. Like, okay, well, we no longer have to manufacture this. We can put that money into here, and Nintendo owners will buy it. I mean, it's also an opportunity for them to make special editions. Throw in a digital, or throw in a physical manual. Throw in a poster. Charge an extra $10-15. And still offer digital. Still offer the the regular digital version. So I think it's an opportunity. I mean, I really think it's an opportunity. So what if Casual Noob says, what if PlayStation is switching to cartridges for a hybrid portable system? That's why discs will end. That's not it. Because they're still going to support the PlayStation 5, so there's no reason to. Game developers are still going to put out games on PS5. PS5 isn't going anywhere. It's actually going to be here longer than maybe the PS4 was. So, no, that doesn't excuse them not making discs for new PS5 games. So, no. Over 100 million views on that tweet is crazy. Backlash, definitely bigger than Sony expected. I think Sony expected a big backlash, but I don't know if they expected this much. I thought that they think that they can use that they're the market leader, to kind of say, all right, we'll be okay. Super Mario RPG music. Nintendo slowly easing customers into digital with key cards as a stepping stone. I don't really think that's it. I don't really think that's it. Because, and here's the reason why I say that. Key cards were only created in the sense of the fact that the cartridge sizes are too big. It's too big when it comes to that. And if Nintendo was slowly easing it themselves, then they would have been making key cards themselves. Nintendo could have easily said, you know what, we're just going to put games on key cards, and they can be making more money doing that. You know, because key cards are way cheaper than a physical card. But why is Nintendo creating cartridges? And on top of that, the reason why they say you're saying slowly easing, I don't think so. They made Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, 3, and X all full on cart. Like, those games don't sell any crazy amounts. Those games don't sell any crazy amounts. Why are they doing that? They already made physicals. They could have just made people upgrade digitally, you know?
Yeah, you're right. IGN didn't say all Switch 2 carts are key cards, but they kind of implied it and brushed Switch 2 as a viable physical option. Can you react what they said at 10:55?
I'm gonna not react to it just because I don't feel like it. I mean, it's IGN. You know, like, I know hate towards IGN, but it's IGN, you know? And I know I trolled them with my the thing with the whole situation, like with the whole you know, Switch 2 has to do with handheld PCs, but I mean, it's like, it's IGN, bro. Like, I don't, they know what they're talking about, but then, like, they have their opinions, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get what they're trying to say, so there's really no reason to react to it, I'll be honest, man. So I'll be honest, but you know, it is what it is. But like I said, Nintendo's actually doing full on cart physical for all their games. If they wanted to go easing to digital, they would have just said make digital games or just do all digital. They would have just didn't do carts themselves. They would have not done that. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the price of the cartridges down. Right now, key cards were an option for developers who don't feel like paying for that price for the cartridges, or don't have the order numbers, or feel like they're not going to sell enough copies for it to be worth that, you know? So I think that's really what that was. That doesn't mean cartridges won't get cheaper in the future. That doesn't mean other developers won't feel like, oh, the install base is bigger, we're going to sell more copies of games, so therefore we don't have to have key cards. It's up to the publishers and developers. I don't think Nintendo's putting any set defined path of easing. I really don't think it's that, honestly. And because, like I said, they do all physical cartridges themselves, and they give the developers the option, just like Switch 1. So I don't think it was any different. I think that third-party developers wanted to do that. They wanted to do that, and they wanted a solution for it, because they had no solution on Switch 1. If you go back to Switch 1, there were game key cards on Switch 1 where you needed the internet in order to play the game. There was a bit of data on the cartridge, and then you needed the internet to play the game. So it was no different. The only difference now is that they're actually getting big third-party support. Switch 1 did not get big AAA third-party support. So you saw a lot of Xbox 360 and PS3 games ported over. You did not see major AAA games. Believe it or not, I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of the major big AAA games from PS4 and Xbox One did not come out on Switch 1. They just didn't. The current gen games, a lot of them did not. So really, you didn't see as many games that had huge file sizes. So that's the big difference here, is that now Nintendo's getting actually like the big games with huge file sizes. So developers are like, yeah, we're not paying for that. Or we're going to wait for the install base to grow so we know that we're going to have a minimum amount of sales, you know? Perfect Image 89 with the $5. He says, remember, Sony and Nintendo was friends until Sony prefers CD, now Nintendo winning cartridges over CD. That's a really simplified way of looking at it. Perfect Image, but I see what you're trying to say. Friends, I would never go as far to say as friends. I would say they were business partners that were very wary of each other. Very wary of each other. Ultimately, Yamauchi did not do a good job of looking at the contract. Sony made up a contract that essentially would lock Nintendo out of their own system with the Sony Play or with the Nintendo PlayStation, and they would get all royalties and get everything from that add-on. Essentially, once again, locking themselves out of their own system. Nintendo probably should have said, hey, we don't want to do this deal, instead of leaving them on the altar. and joining up with their rival. But Sony should have never drawn up a contract like that. They should have had a better contract where, you know, in Japanese business, you kind of go off of honor and tradition of like not trying to screw somebody over. And Sony wrote up a contract that definitely would have screwed Nintendo over. So yeah, like I said, it was more frenemies than it was friends. I would never say that they were friends. But thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah, Switch 1 had good third-party support, but it did not have major AAA third-party support from like current gen AAA third-party support. Like I can name a million games that did not come to Switch 1, like big AAA games. You know, like a lot, like literally like 95%, 99%, like almost everything, Most big AAA titles did not come to Switch 1 at all. So, not saying that it didn't have good third-party support. It had third-party support, but like it didn't get big AAA support with like big file sizes and all that. Frankie says, the only reason these people hate game key cards is because Nintendo finally gave them a name. Every Switch 1 game with the blue banner had no different. Yeah, but the difference was that, once again, there wasn't as many of those as we see with high-profile AAA games now. So, I mean, even if Nintendo didn't give it a name, people would still have a problem with them. They'd still just say these empty cartridges, you know? Like, people would still have a problem with them. They had a problem with them on Switch 1. The difference was that Switch 1 did not get as many big AAA games. So people just didn't... It just wasn't as common. Because Switch 1 just wouldn't get a lot of those games. Like, the large majority. Whereas now, like, we're getting Resident Evil, we're getting AAA Capcom support, we're getting AAA Square Enix support, we're getting AAA Koei Tecmo support. Pretty much all major Japanese companies, Bandai Namco, all of them are putting out big AAA titles on Switch 2 that have much better graphics and resolution and performance and all that type of stuff than Switch 1. Audio quality, all that stuff is way better than Switch 1. So therefore, the file sizes go up. So that's the big difference, you know? Yeah, Switch 2 has way more third-party support than Switch 1. Like, not AAA third-party support. But even on pace, like, if you looked at the amount of third-party games that came out, like, if you lined it up, like, Switch 1, March 2017, June 2025, and lined up AAA support, Switch 2 just blows Switch 1 out of the water. It's not even close in terms of third-party games. Switch 2 is getting games at a record pace for a Nintendo platform. Like, it's never been this fast. This is the fastest that I've ever seen AAA and third-party games come out on a platform. By far the best. Let's see here. Yeah, you were not getting anything over old man Yamauchi. Yeah, Yamauchi, he trusted them too. He trusted them a little bit too much. He thought that there was going to be some honor there. And when he really looked at the contract, he was like, what? He was like, Nani? He basically thought, like, why would they put this in here? Like, he was going off of, like, a good firm handshake and, like, hey, honor, Japanese business, like, don't put anything in here that's crazy, right? And when he really, like, when his executives told him, hey, look at this. Like, really look at this. Because they did off, like, a handshake in a business meeting. He looked at it and he was like, this is preposterous, you know? Like, and that's his fault. That's Nintendo's fault. I'm not saying that's not their fault, but Sony should have never put in those. It should have been a revenue split. It should have been a shared thing. It should have not been, it locks them out and they pretty much get all royalties. It shouldn't have been that. And we all know that it shouldn't have been that. Sony knows that it shouldn't have been that. You know, that's why I say more they were frenemies. Sony was never looking to work with Nintendo for the long term. They were looking to use Nintendo's base to propel their higher quality CD technology and then propel that into taking those people that grew up with Nintendo and taking them into Sony. Now, here's the thing. They got that anyway. A lot of people that grew up with Super Nintendo in Japan and all that, they did move over. You know, they did move over to Sony. So they got that anyway, but they were looking to propel that from using Nintendo. That's what they were looking to do, you know? But they got it, obviously, because of using the CD technology, and third-party developers were like, oh, that's cheaper. Let's go with that, right? So that's what happened anyway. But, you know, that was Sony's goal. Sony's goal was to use Nintendo's, you know, huge base and their audience to propel what they wanted to do. They were never going to just be with Nintendo the whole time. They always wanted to make their own thing. They always did. Ken Kutaragi was a mad scientist. He was very fierce businessman. He didn't want to stay with Nintendo the whole time. He wanted to have their own thing eventually, you know? eventually he was going to want, they were going to have their own system. So we could add Super Mario Bros. I mean, if Nintendo decided to go through with that, Sony would have taken over the whole base. They would have taken over the business. You know, they would have hijacked it to a degree, right? Nintendo would have had to make a new system, but it would have been really weird. It would have been really, 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 really weird. I don't know what would have happened. I mean, like I said, some of us might not even be alive right now. Because who knows what you would have been doing instead of playing an N64 game, or instead of playing this, or you might would have went somewhere, something could have happened to you. Who knows? Like, the world would have been definitely different. You don't know where you would have been. I don't know if I would have been creating video game content. I don't know what I would have been doing, right? So the world would have definitely been very different. So I'm glad that I'm glad everything happened the way that it was. Like, I don't like changing history. You know, I don't think it should have been, you know, and listen, we got Sony out of it. I think it's good to have competition. And Nintendo tried as hard as they could. You know, they were trying what they could do too. So there was fierce competition between them. So that's good. So that's a good thing. Let's see here. Sony has always had a dubious, underhanded group of economic birdmen. Yeah, I mean, listen, they've been doing it, and that's what you... Listen, when it comes to video game business, you got to be cutthroat. I mean, Nintendo has been cutthroat. A lot of companies have been cutthroat before. A lot of... you have to be cunning. You know, you have to be very cunning to be in the video game business. If you're not, guess what happens? You end up like Sega. Or you end up like Microsoft. You end up like, you know, getting cooked. Like, you've got to be incredibly cunning for this business, and it's the failure rate is high. It's like nearly 100%, right? Like, making video game consoles, it's a failing business. It's not a prosperous business, because almost every company that's ever made a video game system has ultimately ended up failing at some point. There's only 2 companies that have not failed making a console, and that's PlayStation and Nintendo. Everybody else, in terms of currently, has either failed, dropped out, or is failing right now. So it's like, it's really difficult, you know? It's really, really, really difficult to make it. I'm glad Switch 1 got great indies and old third-party ports, but I was ready for Nintendo console with better parity and getting more third-party. Me too. I want to see how long the game would be up before... wait, I need to play the Super Mario RPG music. I haven't played it yet. Alright, here we go. Forest Maze. I want to see how long the game would be before I up the difficulty. I didn't want to change the difficulty because I wanted to enjoy the story. So then what? Wait, okay, but so then why are you complaining about the difficulty? You said but the game. So why are you complaining about the difficulty then? I don't get it. You're saying, oh, I want to enjoy the story, but it's too easy. Well, then why don't you change the difficulty? Oh, well, I want to enjoy the story. So then you have no problem with it being easy then. I don't understand what Simeon quit. I don't understand why you're complaining then. If you want to just enjoy the story, don't complain about it being too easy. If the game was too easy, you should have increased the difficulty. I don't get it. Let's see here. Value is gonna flop with the Steam machine in a heartbeat. Yeah, we already have some reports of a red ring of death, you know, of a red ring of death. So, or a red line of death apparently for them. I don't know what's going on, but there's one report, one system. That doesn't mean it's widespread though. We'll see with the other ones. The Soldier Boy console. Value is gonna flop with the Steam machine in a heartbeat. Here's what I see right now. Now, I could be wrong. Steam machine's gonna flop, flip-it-a-flop, drop, pancake, flip-flop. PS6 is gonna flop. I think it's gonna be a flop. I think it's gonna be very slowly adopted. I think it's gonna be very much like the PS3 at the beginning, if they don't fix it. The Xbox Helix, I think, is DOA. I think it's a DOA system unless they rethink everything, but I don't think they have consumer trust. I think ultimately, right now, we're looking at a video game crash to some degree. We're looking at a new video game crash, but people will play the old stuff. So people will still buy PS5 games. People will still, you know, download stuff on PSN. People will still buy Switch 2 games. People will still buy Xbox, you know, whatever, One or Xbox Series. People will still buy PC, Steam. But there's going to be somewhat of a crash because the prices are too high for the quality of games. Let me give you guys an example, and I'm going to make a video on this, but let me give you guys an example of what I mean. If you go over to Metacritic, right, you go to the best games, you go to the best games of let me see here. Or if you go to my bad, not Metacritic. Game of the year. Game of the year winners. So if you go to Game of the Year winners, right? List of Game of the Year winners. Okay. So if you go to Game of the Year winners, look at this list. Now, obviously you have a long list of games. We're not going to go to all the old stuff, but all the newer things here. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. You do not need a PS6 to play Clair Obscur Expedition 33 or any games that are made like Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's a turn-based RPG with Unreal Engine 4 that they made with the indie team, with the smaller team. Astrobot. It's a smaller team game made by Team Asobi. You do not need a PS6 for anything like that. Baldur's Gate 3. That's a PC game. You do not need new hardware for a PC game. That was in early access for forever. That also came out on Xbox Series and PS5, right? Elden Ring. That is a PS4 game that was ported over to the PS5. It Takes Two. That is a smaller game that came out on the Nintendo Switch 1 as well as all the systems. That is not, you don't need anything for that. Hades. No, Hades was not, what the heck? This is wrong. 2020 was The Last of Us Part 2. So 2020, The Last of Us Part 2, that's like the only game that you can sit there and say, you know, oh, maybe you need like the highest end hardware to play. But that was 6 years ago. That was 6 years ago. So if you look at all the games since when the PlayStation 5 launched, what game do you need the new hardware, the newest hardware to be like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever? You don't need it. It's either on a PC or it's a smaller game that probably could have been made on PS4. Astrobot could easily have its gameplay on PS4. Yeah, you don't get the DualSense stuff, and yes, that's a big part of it, but you can do Astrobot on the PS4. You can do that game on the PS4 if you wanted to. If you wanted to. Clair Obscur, you can make that same type of game on the PS4 if you wanted to. You do not need crazy hardware for games like Elden Ring, It Takes Two, even like, let's say if you said Hades, you know, Metaphor Refantasio, these type of games that are Game of the Year type winners, you do not need crazy hardware for that. If you look at like recently, like Donkey Kong Bonanza, you look at, even if you want to go back to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that was a Wii U game. That was on the Wii U. So it's like, nah, that's why I say like this hardware could flop. So that's JoJo Fridays. That's why I said this hardware can flop, because we're not even getting hardware in today's day that's taking that's winning Game of the Year, that's getting all the nominations that are even needed for the highest end hardware. I mean, come on now, Clair Obscur, it's an indie game almost. Not like it's a small AA game. You do not need a PS6 to make Clair Obscur Expedition 33-2. You can make that on a PS5 and it'll be just fine. It'll be just as good. So that's the problem that we're dealing with right now. Shout outs to with the $5. Everyone sounds like Zoo. That is true. Everyone sounds like Zoo. Zoo, you were right, man. You were right. I gotta tell you, you were right. You were 100% right. So I do see a light crash, especially if Sony launches at $1,000. If Sony launches anywhere near $1,000, there will be a light crash. And really, it's going to take Nintendo and PC gaming to probably prevail through that. So Sony's got to be careful here, man. Sony's got to be careful. Yeah, I keep on. Clair Obscur is not an indie game. It's like a AA type game. It's like a really high end AA or light AAA type game. It's not a indie game. Companies are going to try to do anything, but end up in a crash. We'll see. I collect physical for the PS5 as long as I'm able. I'm fine with missing out on PS6 exclusives. Well, you won't be able to collect. Here's the thing, though, Majora's Wrath. I think a lot of you guys don't understand. You will not be able to play any PS5 game physical past January 2028. They will cease production as of right now. So if a new PS5 game comes out, that you want, you will not, there will be no printed PS5 version. There will be no PS5 version of that game printed. Just plain, it's not even PS6, it's PS5 games too. There'll be none. It's fair to say there's nothing on the Switch 2 carts anymore, or is that misinformation? That's what IGN said. That's misinformation. If they're but like I said, I think they were referencing third-party games. I don't think they're referencing all of Nintendo's first-party games. But once again, it's IGN. It's IGN, Dane. It's IGN. But like I said, maybe I'll address it in a video. Maybe I'll address it in a video. I'm pretty sure their comment section is letting them know about it, though. You know. Let's see here. All depends what games. PS6 has Sly Cooper. I'm Jack. I'm in. Ratchet and Clank. I'm in. And that's for you. That's for you. I don't think Sly Cooper and Jack and Daxter are system sellers for Sony. But we'll see. Let's see here. So messed up and anti-consumer. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I gotta see what Hip Hop Gamer said though, because I don't understand this logic. I'm looking at the I gotta see what Hip Hop Gamer said. So I mean, he's sitting here and capping for Sony. He's sitting here capping for the corporation, for the billion-dollar corporation. So I gotta hear what he has to say, because I gotta respond to this. I gotta respond to this, man. I gotta respond to it. Let me see this. Let me see this.
Why is PlayStation eliminating physical media in 2028? Mobile makes up over half of the entire global gaming revenue.
What is that? First problem that I have. First problem in this. What does that matter? We're not talking about mobile. We're talking about console gaming. So I don't care about mobile. Nintendo makes a lot of money on mobile too. They make a lot of money on Fire Emblem. They've made money on mobile too. That does not mean that we should just all move over. So like the first thing that I have to say is, who cares about mobile? We're talking about console. Okay? We're not talking about mobile. And once again, mobile revenue does not mean that they should remove options for us. So, okay.
In the industry. And it's 100% digital. PC makes up over 20% of that revenue.
We're not talking about PC. We're talking about consoles, which have physical games, which Sony's been making, which people still buy. We're not talking about PC. We're talking about console. We're talking about PlayStation 5. We're talking about physical games.
At this moment, right now, and you already know PC is 100% digital too. So at this moment, roughly 75% of the entire gaming industry is all digital, right?
That is false. You cannot say 75% of the whole entire gaming industry is all digital and exclude other people in the gaming industry. Hold up. How is that 75% from what you calculated with mobile and PC? And there's still Nintendo, who's a big part of it as well. So you're not factoring that in at all. What does that... What?
In this moment, in this context, right?
Okay. In this context, he's excluding Nintendo, but he's like, I guess in this context. But still, that's a funny way of doing of talking about it. That's cap.
Okay, let's keep going. Console makes up close to 25% of the entire global gaming industry's revenue. Okay? And the console market now is 85% digital.
Okay, so this has just been this stat that's been floating around that it's 85% digital. And here's the thing that I would say to this. Here's the thing that I'd say to Hip Hop Gamer. Hip Hop Gamer, you need to use your connections with Sony, or you need to use your connections to find out the split between major games and the split between physical versus digital, and Roblox, Fortnite, V-Bucks, microtransactions, because I suspect, and if you do a little bit of digging, I suspect that there's some funny business going on there. And I still feel that if you split up the major games, like let's say, for example, Astrobot, or let's say, for example, Horizon, or some of these big games that have physical sales that are actually pushed that way. And if you look at the launch sales, or if you look at the sales that were going before the PSN promotions and things like that, it would actually be a lot better than that. You would have a better ratio of the sales. Yeah, God of War, things like that. It would be a better ratio. Yeah, you're going to have a higher digital ratio of sales when there's a lot of indie games and a lot of games that don't even have physical counterparts at all. So we got to look at it that way too. Like I said, they're a bit misleading when you have way more digital content and potentially counting games that don't even have physical counterparts at all. You know, so I'm a little wary of that stat because once again, Sony does not give stats based off of like major games and what's the split between digital and physical there. They're just going based off of everything that's on PSN, you know?
Which makes it a total of the entire industry being between 95 to 97% digital. There's your answer.
The problem with that, once again, is that it's based off of not including Nintendo and not including the actual amount of physical games. And it's you hog-tying mobile in as if mobile is some type of factor when you're talking about console games. Just because mobile does something or just because PC does something doesn't mean that needs to be applied to console gaming. You know what mobile does a lot? Microtransactions. And a lot of weird, stupid stuff there. Does that mean everybody should just copy mobile? I think that is such a bad argument, and it's such a bad faith argument to say, since mobile and PC does something, that means they should do something. It's a console for a reason. It's a console with a controller. Most mobile players don't use controllers. They use touchscreen inputs. Okay, so should Sony just do touchscreen input the whole time? Most mobile games are built off of microtransactions. So should Sony just do all microtransactions for every single game and not build off the type of games like God of War and stuff that you want to play? Using that as some type of crutch is absolutely insane. That is insane logic to me because you're using the mobile market. You know how many bad practices the mobile market has? Do we really want to be like the mobile market now? Like, come on now. You can't take what you think is good and apply that to your own opinion and then remove all the other stuff that comes along with the mobile market. Like, oh yeah, it's digital, so therefore that's the reason. That doesn't mean it should be that doesn't mean we should follow the mobile market. Hold up.
When you combine everything, mobile, PC, console, everything as a whole that represents the entire global gaming industry's revenue, 95 to 97% of all of that is digital. Now that we know the entire gaming industry as a whole is 95 to 97% digital,
it's not really, but whatever.
How did we get here? Answer: very simple. Us, all of us, as gamers, voted with our wallets that this is what we wanted.
No, we did not vote with our wallets as this is what we wanted. Mobile has no option for physical games. I will repeat, mobile has no option for physical games. There is no option for physical on mobile. You're including that as what we voted for, but there's no option. It's a freaking phone. You can't play physical games on the phone. So you cannot use mobile stats and PC stats and try to incorporate that into console with PlayStation. It is not PC. It is not mobile. I can't believe that he's using the premise of that to try to defend a multi-billion-dollar corporation on this. This is next level of bending over for Sony for no reason whatsoever. Using mobile, I mean, this just blows my mind. I'm going to get to the super chats in just a bit, but this just blows my mind that I met Hip Hop Gamer a long time ago, a decade plus ago at E3. He's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He seems like a cool dude and everything. He seems cool and all, but this is insane that he would defend this anti-consumer type of practice, bro. I didn't defend game key cards. I didn't defend $80 Mario Kart. What? I didn't go out there and say that it's okay. That's what it's supposed to be, bro. No way. It is not 95% and all that. We got to go based off PlayStation. If you go based off of PlayStation and what they're doing, there's still a good percentage of people that are buying major games physical when the option is presented to them. The option of being there is better than not having the option of being there. So I don't know what he's talking about. So if he mentions 97% and that's the reason why and all that, I'm just going to disregard it from going forward and try to hit on different points that he has.
as a collective. And the market dictates where companies move to and place bets on. Period. That's it. You see that we're living in a time where attention is currency, and social media and all this other stuff. Things change. Things evolve. I'm telling you straight up. Facts is facts. Feelings will get you left behind.
So here's the thing. You're putting your feelings out there in terms of what you feel about that. So I just want to say that with him. But here are the facts. The facts are millions upon millions of people still buy physical games. The facts are Sony makes millions upon millions of dollars in revenue and in profits off of microtransactions, off of digital games, off of physical games, and all that. The facts are, this does not mean, when it comes to moving to what it is business-wise, they're not losing money off of physical games. This is a restriction of your own personal ownership. You want to know the facts? The facts are, this is a restriction of your own personal ownership of games. They want to control and choke the used game market. They have multiple class action lawsuits for the PSN being a monopoly, the only place where you can buy games. And now they want to do this to completely control the used game market, as in there will be no used game market. There will be zero used game market. That's the facts concerning this. It's not simply based off of where we voted for and all. No, millions of people are buying physical games. This is based off of them wanting to control and not have physical games at all, and control everything and control prices through PSN. So you can't get that copy of Metal Gear Solid Delta, which you like, by the way. You can't get that copy of Metal Gear Solid Delta for $25. You got to go on PSN and get it for $70, or get it for however they feel like paying it at the price. It's about removing options for the consumer so they can benefit. Because guess what, Hip Hop Gamer? Guess what, everybody? Are you getting cheaper prices on digital games because of this? So when they shut down physical games, what do you benefit as a consumer? What do you get? There's no net positive of them shutting down physical games. There's no net positive for you as a digital gamer. There's nothing. You just get less options, and potentially it could affect you, because sometimes there's physical sales and then all of a sudden magically it'll be on sale digital. So I don't understand what he's saying here. This does not make a lot of sense.
Period. So there's your answer. The very thing, this is the hypocrisy part. The very thing that all of this outrage and all this other stuff is, the very thing that y'all mad at is the very thing that y'all supported.
That's not true.
All of us.
No. Millions upon millions of people bought physical games. There is no option for physical on mobile. That is irrelevant. There is no option for physical on PC. There is an option for physical on PlayStation, and millions upon millions of people have supported that. What are you talking about?
So miss me with all but I need the physical. Really?
Yes.
Let's keep it a buck.
Yes.
Us,
yes,
as gamers, voted collectively.
No, we did not.
For this outcome.
No, we did not vote collectively for this outcome. No, we did not. We voted for options. No, we did not vote collectively for this option. There was no vote put up. You know what? We should have a real vote. How about this? How about I dare Hip Hop Gamer? I dare you, Hip Hop Gamer. I dare you, for your audience, your Hot 97. You should have me on Hot 97 1 or Hot 97. Have me on. Okay, have me on your show. And let's put up a real vote for everyone out there to vote on this. You don't vote with your wallet. People want to have the option. I think a lot of people do want to have the option of physical or digital. And if we have a real vote from all the fans out there, I guarantee you they would vote, hey, I might buy digital, but I still want to have the option for physical. Nobody voted for removing the option. Nobody voted for that. You know what's going to be real funny too? In the future, when streaming gets way better and internet gets way better, and they want to remove the physical or the digital option where you don't even download anything and it's just streaming, and then what? I bet you anything, Hip Hop Gamer, you're going to be there in 10 years saying, oh yeah, we voted collectively for us to stream all our games. That's what we voted for. Are you going to be doing that too? I hope not. I hope not. I hope you're not going to be doing that, because that's what's going to be next. That is what is going to be next when it comes down to it. A lot of people would still buy physical games. I'm getting numbers from some of my chat here talking about 55% for Astro Bot. I don't know how accurate those numbers are or not, but I do know that millions upon millions of people are buying physical games. It is not as lopsided as some people are trying to say. And that doesn't mean it should be removed as an option, you know?
So don't be surprised when the companies study the behaviors of us. And this is dating back to PlayStation 3 when they brought the PlayStation Store to the platform. And ever since then, PlayStation Home, all that other stuff, ever since then, leading into the PlayStation 4, leading into PlayStation 5, where we at today. Physical was this, digital was this. And then it started to do this. It started to do this. It started to do this.
And
now you already know what it is. Now let's keep it going.
So what? So what? So when digital was down here and physical was there, should they have just gotten rid of digital? Should they have just like gotten rid of it because it wasn't as high as physical? Of course not. There should never have been a removal of the option. I don't care if it was the other way around. If physical was super high and digital was super low, should they just remove the digital option? Of course not. No, they shouldn't. They should give the option for people when it comes down to it. So for example, Nintendo's digital was way lower on 3DS compared to physical. They didn't remove the digital option. They still gave you the option to download it digitally. Same thing with like the Wii U. The Wii U, the option for physical is way higher than the option for digital. People still, it shouldn't be removed. It doesn't matter. And yes, I know that it was changing. Like obviously you're not going to remove something that's rising, but even if it was the other way around, even if it was to where now still in today's day, if physical was way better than digital when it comes to sales and all that, that doesn't mean I would like to see digital being removed. That's silly. That removes an option for consumers. That's not what you want. That's not a consumer. That's I'm trying to be pro-consumer. Removing an option doesn't make things better for anybody. It only makes things better for Sony. It doesn't make anything better for you at all, you know?
Buster versus Netflix. Who's here and who's not? Obviously that's rhetorical, but you know what it is. Blockbuster versus Netflix. Who's here and who's not? Tower Records.
Blockbuster's not here because they're freaking idiots. That's why they're not. Blockbuster is not here because they're morons and they did not want to add an option. They refused to add the option of streaming. They refused to buy Netflix. If they would have added the option, then also supplemented that with in-store where you can get it from online, you can stream, or you can take the thing and you can return it to their stores, Blockbuster would still be here. They are not here because they are stupid and because they refused an option. That's why they're not here. The same thing that you're saying right now, trying to remove an option. Blockbuster did not want to add an option for their consumers. That's why Blockbuster is not here. That's why. Because they're morons. The people that ran Blockbuster were dumb and did not want to add an option. They could have bought Netflix. They did not. And they should have, because it was a good option. That was before the streaming, by the way. Netflix used to do like a, like where you can just like, they mail it in. I think that at one point they had a CD that you use, and then like you can use the CD to access the whatever. But either way, if they would have simply bought Netflix at that time, which that would have been a good buy, because like, oh wow, they have a whole infrastructure set up for this and we can use that, they would have been fine. But they're stupid. So they removed an option, or they did not want to add an option for their consumers, and that's why they're out of business. Not because simply just streaming. They're stupid and they didn't add the option.
Versus Spotify. Who's here and who's not?
We still have physical music. We still have vinyl. They're still being produced. Okay? Yes, most people stream, but you can still get specialty CDs. You can still get new music. I saw Not Like Us. I saw Kendrick Lamar, his little 5'1" self, going like this without Honda or whatever he has. Okay, I saw that when I went to Walmart. There's a whole freaking rack of physical vinyl sales that I almost bought it. There's CDs, there's still physical. There's specialty stores that still sell all that. So what are you talking about? They're still around. The music is still around. Physical music is still around. You can order it too.
What are we talking about? What are we really talking about? Let's keep it going. So when I make the fake gamer outrage statements, it's because, like I said, the same gamers that's angry are also the same gamers that contributed to the very thing they say they hate.
That's not true. Once again, most of the people that are talking about this buy physical games. Everybody that I know of that is talking about this buys physical games. There is not a single person that does not have definitive proof that has been angry about this that hasn't actually posted it. Everyone that is talking about this is posting it and is talking about their physical games. I have showed my physical PS5 games many times. I do not have to show my physical PS5 games again. To sit there and say that it's all just fake outrage, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of people saying that it was fake outrage for the PlayStation 3 before the PS3 launch. Remember how everybody was up in arms? Well, a lot of you guys don't remember because it was 20 years ago. It was 20 plus years ago. But when Sony decided, they said, hey, look, if you want a PS5, get a second job to get a PS5. Get a second job to get a PS5. People are like, what? They were outraged. It's not fake outrage for an anti-consumer tactic. Just like game key cards weren't fake outrage. I never said that. Just like $80 Mario Kart was not fake outrage. I never said that. What I did say was fake outrage was people talking about the price of the system and people talking about stuff that was clearly lying, talking about how Steam Deck is better value. Like all this, that stuff was fake outrage because we got the test, the results were in, the system was in, we saw what it can do, we saw the comparisons. That was fake outrage. But the game keycard stuff, the $80 Mario Kart stuff, that was not fake, even though most people were buying $50 bundled with Mario. It was not fake outrage. It was just most people were just saying, man, screw that. I'm not buying it by itself. I'll just buy the digital version of it with the bundle. I'm not spending 80 on that. You know? So no, it's not fake outrage for an anti-consumer tactic. And I'm not talking about anti-consumer like, oh my God, they took down my favorite fan game. That's fake outrage. Like, it's copyright infringement. You might not like it or whatever the case is, but that stuff, that's kind of more fake, just like weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Because every company does that. But what I'm talking about when it comes to it is like actual real stuff that people were upset about that affects them, you know? So that's the issue. That's the issue, man. It's not fake outrage.
And one of the things that's crazy is they say that they're taking away the choice. There's no more options and stuff like that. Here's the problem. There was an option. And 95 to 97% of the entire industry went with the digital option.
Mobile never had a physical option. It never had one, okay? And if you're talking about, there is no, I'm not even going to address this 90-something% because that 90-something% is not real when it comes down to that. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. We had options on PlayStation. And if you want to include the actual industry when it comes down to it, you include mobile for some reason. That's not, I guess, technically like part of, so I mean, I guess Sony does make some mobile games, but you exclude Nintendo because then it jack your numbers up, okay? But no, people choose physical a lot. There's a lot of people that choose physical. We did get some numbers out from 007 First Light in Europe. This is from Christopher Drink. Christopher Drink says that that game sold over 1 million units in Europe. 230,000 units plus were from physical. That's 20% plus. That's 20%. That is a good enough number. That is a good enough number to keep it around. I don't want to hear this. Come on now, man. Come on now, man. Come on now, man.
So if 95 to 97% of the industry is telling me, if you're a PlayStation or Xbox and PC did that long time ago or whatever, if you're telling me that, hey, this is what y'all want, we might as well just go full stop or digital. Because you know what that does? The moment you go full stop or digital, now you don't got to worry about packaging. You don't got to worry about shipping costs. You don't got to worry about street dates being broken and stuff. You don't got to worry about stuff not shipping in time. With digital, you get the whole world at one button.
And that's fine, and that's great. Sony is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Why are you nitpicking and why are you penny pinching for them? They do not lose out on anything by simply offering the option. You still get all of that. Nobody is taking that away. Nobody is taking what? Nobody is taking away your digital games. You're gonna take my digital games away. Nobody is taking that away, hip hop. What we're saying is that physical games should not be taken away. Nobody's taking that away. When it comes to broken street dates and all that, you gotta tighten things up around these parts, okay? And nobody's saying that they have to do it on launch. Heck, if you're worried about street dates and all that, then say, okay, launch digital first, and then launch the physical a week later, or launch the physical 2 or 3 days later. If you're worried about that, then okay, fair enough, right? Fair enough. Then ship it a little bit later. A lot of the people that still like physical have no problem waiting, and a lot of them will, guess what? Double dip. They'll probably, if they like the game enough, they'll buy it digital and they'll buy it physical. I did it for Romancing Saga. I bought the game digital and I bought the game physical. So that's the thing, man. Like, that doesn't mean that you need to get rid of the option completely because digital gets you right at your fingertips. Yeah, duh, no problem. But physical is also good too. And it gives people something, and it gives you value, real world value for your game.
You push one button and that game is out for the world to download, experience immediately. That's one.
No, you gotta download it so you can experience it immediately. And based on your internet connection, when it comes to digital, you don't know how fast it's gonna download or not. If you live in rural, Mexico, you're probably not going to be able to download that game as fast, and you probably rely upon actually going into a store and buying the game, which this is a component that we haven't talked about. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to get to the donations and all that. Shout out to Shinru for the raid. I'm going to get to everything. But there's places that don't have great internet. There's places that are rural that don't have good internet, that it's going to take them a long time, or they have data caps and they can't download 100 gigabytes of a game, that they need to actually go into the store and pick up the game and install the game from there. They don't want to have to rely upon internet to do that. So no, that's not for everybody. What?
2, full profit for the business. Full profit.
We don't work for Sony. We don't work for Do you work for Sony? Do you work for Sony? What are you worried about full profit for Sony for? You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Dude, we don't work for Sony. Full profit for Sony. What about us? What about what about us? What about us getting deals? What about us getting sales? Why should we full profit for Sony? I don't like to use the term corporate bootlicker. And I'm trying really hard to not, because I like Hip Hop Gamer. I like him, and I've met him before. He probably doesn't remember me, but I've met him before. And he seems like a nice guy. But, dude, this is corporate bootlicking. Full profit for Sony? They make enough profit. Oh, my mind hurts. They make enough profit. Listen, I want businesses to make money. I want businesses to stay there. But full profit for Sony. Okay, so if Sony gets full profit from this, that means no more firings, right? No more shutting down studios. No more anything like that, right? That means we're never going to get that going forward, right? Like if we get full profit for Sony. Oh, that means no more live service nonsense. That means they're going to actually fund tons of games, and they're going to actually be good single player games coming out at a consistent clip, right? I highly doubt full profit for Sony does anything for us. I don't know what that's going to do. Sony makes enough profit. They make enough revenue. They make a lot of money. They are very, very profitable at this point. Even with physical games, taking away physical games does not all of a sudden make them far more profitable than before. Like, that's insane. It's only an additive. It does not subtract from what you're doing. This is to control the used game market. It's to control that. It's not about making more money or more profit. Removing options does not make more profit for you. They still make profit off of a physical game.
You know what that means? That means I'll have more to invest to make more stuff that y'all want.
I doubt it.
Goes back and forth.
No. I highly doubt it. This has been Sony's most profitable. They have been more profitable than any time in the history of PlayStation. And what has that got us? think about that for a second. They are more profitable than the PS1, the PS2, the PS3, and the PS4. I think it's even combined. It might even be combined. Sony is insanely profitable with the PlayStation business. And what has that gotten us? That has not gotten us new Uncharted. That has not gotten us a bunch of new Naughty Dog games. That has not gotten us anything. They have been insanely more profitable than they've ever been. And that has not gotten us more stuff. Where is this logic coming from? I want to know where it's coming from. Because Sony has been more profitable than ever. And their output has been horrid. Has been atrocious. Compared to the PS3 and in some respects to the PlayStation 4, you know. I'm at a loss of words. I'm at a loss of words from this from Hip Hop Gamer. I am a loss of words. Loss of words.
If you love the culture, you love games, and you spending your money, okay, cool, good. These companies spend money to be able to make the things that we want to buy, good. Fair exchange. What are we talking about? What are we really talking about?
Oh, that was awful. I'm making a video. I mean, look, I already debated and argued a lot of these points. You know, if this video goes up on YouTube, you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is Sony going to invest all of these profits and all of this stuff back into us? Are we going to get game after game after game after game because of it, despite Sony having the most profitable generation that they've ever had? Is that going to happen? Is that going to happen now at this point? Y'all can let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. All right, I'm out. Goodness gracious, I don't even know what to say. Let me get into the donations and comments here because that's just I can't believe what I just heard. George FT with the $9.99, and he says, PlayerEssence, if GTA 6 showed us anything, AAA can still sell digital games for 70, 80, 100, and they won't give a crap. Yeah, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss of words, man. I'm at a loss of words, dude. Like it's just crazy, bro. It's just crazy. I'm gonna read off what some other people said too. Flipping the switch with the 25, or with the 5, and he says, got into it with this dude a while ago over Sony theft of motion controls. He almost came on the show, but we reached a consensus. Oh, that would have been cool to have him on your show. That would have been dope. I wish he would have came on the show. Thank you for the 5. Again, there, I appreciate that. Big J coming in with the $3 donut. Gonna read that off.
You're right about the double dip, OJ. I bought mouse. PI for hire on PC, and guess what is shipping next week for me? Mouse. PI for hire. The Mouseburg edition for Switch 2. Which also comes with a mini vinyl. I've been buying more physical lately. Agreed.
Thank you for that, Big J with the 3. Thank you, Flippin' Switch with a 5. Daniel with the 2 says, it's confirmed digital only and DLC count. What game are you talking about? It confirmed digital only and DLC count. Okay, so DLCs count. Okay. Deported with the 2 says, he seems like a corporate hype beast. Yeah, that's what it seems like right now. That's what it seems like. Oh man, like I said, it's just not good news, brother. It's just not good news at all. I don't know what Sony is going for here with this, but it's not good for consumers. I can tell you that right now. It's not good for consumers. Have you seen these companies saying that they won't support, they support physical? How many of them will make full game on Switch 2 games? I have seen that. That's why I think if there's any positive from this, it's that developers can see that people want full on cart and they'll pay more for it. So get out those special editions, get out those $10, $15 more. Go ahead and bust that out right now while you're at it, you know? Shinru, thank you for the raid of 2. Thank you to Big J with the 3. Shout outs to 7 Moments. Thank you for the 51 months of tune in tier pledge. I appreciate that. 51 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was painful. That was painful to watch and to listen to. Thank you for finishing this video. Hey, no problem. Yeah, I had to hear everything that he had to say. I thought about clicking off of it when he kept on with those fake stats of 97%, like mobile, like including mobile. It's just insane. That video is literally the arguments I've been hearing all week. Digital only advocates, they take the cherry on top of the bad takes, yeah, it sucks, man. All Sony's mobile games profit more than their console digital games? No, I don't think so. Speaking of PI mouse for hire, PI mouse for hire. I still remember you, you see? If people buying digital mostly, how is GameStop still in business? I mean, you don't need that many people to run a small boutique, right? And a lot of GameStops have went out of business. But like, GameStop also has a huge amount of cash they built from stealing from consumers over the last, 2-3 decades or something like that. So there's also that. Hip Hop wouldn't be able to say all these in an OG debate. I mean, hip hop gamer. I think he would. He would be able to. He's done debates before. He's actually not bad at debates. I think he's well composed. He doesn't get flustered much in a debate. And what he's saying is, I think once again, he goes like with the corporate route, right? The corporate route is do what Sony says is good. So I mean, that's what it seems like he's doing here. Is like the corporate route says this, so I'm gonna say this, and he buys all digital, so he doesn't care. Who cares about physical gamers? Who cares about them? They suck, they're stupid, they stink, they smell. They don't touch grass. So I don't know, man. Hip hop gamer. Yeah, digital games will be cheaper. LOL. Yeah, right. Also, we didn't vote for this. Physical has less content on disc. We didn't want that. Yeah, I mean, we did not vote for this. PlayerEssence, OJ, I gave my blind man $10 yesterday. Asked him when I was gonna get it back. He told me the next time I see you. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're saying Velvet because I didn't say hi to you in the chat. I'm sorry, Velvet. I was reacting to something. It's good to see you here, V. Welcome to the stream. Shout outs. Appreciate you, V, like always. My bad. Why does he feel the need to defend it though? He's a big PlayStation fan. So I mean, he feels the need to defend it because he's a big PlayStation fan. So he defends that, He defends. I don't know why he defends it. Cause like Sony, cause like the PS6 is coming up. I don't know. I mean, but there's no reason to defend it, There's no reason to defend that at all. Like, there really isn't. So it's weird to me, at least, Dude said full profit. Like, what about me? That's what I'm saying. It's like, but what about discounts and deals? Why would you want to like have them make full profit off of everything? Why do you want to choke you out on game prices and all of that? Some people, once again, can't download off the internet. They're in rural areas or they're in areas where they don't have like it set up for it to work. They have to go in physical to get a game. Like, what about those people? Everybody just, I know for me in particular, let's just talk about for me in particular. My family, we're from Nigeria. There is no PSN in Nigeria. There is no Nigerian PSN. You have to use a VPN, or you have to kind of get credits from, so like you can't use Nigerian banks and cards, and it just doesn't work that way. So whenever my cousins come here, or whenever they did, what did we do? We went to GameStop, we went to EB Games, or we went to Walmart, and we bought them games. And like when my uncle would come here, or my uncle Leo, he'd say, okay, what games do you guys want? And he'd say, hey Francis, go, can you get them some games? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I go to the game store and we get them games, we buy them, and then we give them, and then they take them on the plane and they go back to Africa. They go back to Nigeria with those games because they can't download games. And this was in the PS4 and PS5 era. They can't download games. You can't do that in Nigeria. The internet is atrocious in many places in Nigeria. It's just like, you guys saw my stream from Nigeria. I was running at 720p, 30 frames per second with constant, the lights going out sometimes, depending on what area you're in. I mean, you have generators and stuff like that, but like for a lot of people there, like there's no option, for downloading like that. It'll take forever. Dude, you know how long it took me to download Metroid Dread? It took me a day and a half to download Metroid Dread. Like literally, like I kid you not, with the internet that I had there at the hotel. It took me a day and a half. Like, bro, that's for Metroid Dread. That game is not that big. Imagine if it was like GTA. It would take like 3 days. Or no, not even 3 days. It'd take like a week. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, bruh. Yeah, it was worth it for Dread. It was fun. It was fun. But it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Let's see. Sometimes it took me 2 hours to download a digital game. Wow, that's like old dial-up. Yeah, it's actually worse than dial-up. It's actually, well, it's probably about dial-up days, I guess, right? So it sucks, man. It's just not fun. Okay, Deported to Slim with the $5 dono. How did I miss this? Thank you for the $5 dono. And 7 Moments with 51 says, how much do you think the corpos pay Hip Hop Gamer to spread their talking points? I'm a PS fan too, but this is indefensible. I don't know how much they pay him. I have no idea how much they pay him to sit there and say that, you know? I don't know. It just seems insane logic to me. Bro, what? Oh, this is insane logic, man. Let's see, add Sony to his sponsor. Yeah, it needs to add Sony to that sponsor banner, bro. Like I said, it's just terrible. Support with the $10 dono and says, OJ, a prince from Nigeria emailed me once and I sent him 25K. Eventually he says he will send me back 2 million. I am patiently waiting. That was 3 years ago. Oh, you know what? I don't think you got scammed just yet. Maybe if you wait another 3 years, maybe, maybe everything will be okay. Maybe you'll actually get your money back, right? You'll get that money. I don't know. Something tells me that you might not get that though, you know? Oh my god, something tells me that you might not get that though, man. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Shout out to the person. Thank you for the $10 dono. I appreciate that. Let's go. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that dono. Thank you. Thank you for the big 10. Actually, I think I need to add. Did I add the 5 to that? I think we're at. I think I did. Okay, yeah, 119. Shout outs, guys. Combo Bricks. JoJo Friday. We are here. Let's go and get that JoJo going as well. Yes, sir. Strike the pose with me. Shout outs. Says these people literally working harder for Sony than actual Sony PR firm. Sony been radio sound. I know, man. I know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. I think there's nothing wrong with some want to defend what they love. I respect open mind. I'm not closed-minded about that, but that's just me. Yeah, I agree, but like that doesn't mean we should remove options for everybody else that feels differently, though. You know, like I listen. I don't even go hard like that hard on Sony or anybody else when it comes to this type of stuff. The only reason why I'm going so hard on this type of stuff is because it's not needed. Because it's literally done to like remove physical games and remove cheaper games. It's not a benefit to consumers at all. So that's the reason why I'm even going like this. You know, like when something doesn't benefit consumers or when there's no option, like for example, like let's just compare Mario Kart, for example. Mario Kart, there's a $50 bundle option. Okay, whatever. There's a physical option. If it's 80s too much, okay, that's fine. You can go on Amazon or you can go on eBay. You can go on whatever. At least there's a used option. One, you don't even give them any money, so you don't even support them. And two, you get to play your game. You know? So at least you can even do that when it comes to Mario Kart. I don't like the $80, but hey, at least they're producing it. It's physical. There's other marketplaces where you can get it cheaper. Somebody will sell it to you for cheaper than that. You know? So for me, at least, that's what I want. Now, if Nintendo choked us out and said no freaking physical copies of Mario Kart and $80, I'd be like, I was already like, what? That's stupid. Like $80 for the game. But now it'd be like, wait a minute. Now that's just super, super, super anti-consumer. You know? So that's the problem that I'm dealing with right now, man. That we're looking at. Also, shout outs to Mongunzo. He dropped a 1,000 GOAT. Also, thank you to JP. Drummer did a mic drop for 600. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the jewels coming through. Apparently, I get something from those, so thank you. Thanks. It's a weird place to jump in and fight you. You have no stake in digital-only user and boast your idealism to others that have strong attachment to having an option. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, my beard's not even that big. You said big beard. My beard's not even that big. I actually trimmed it. It was way bigger. It was like down to like here. I actually trimmed it up a little bit. The sides are kind of trimmed up a little bit. It's actually not that bad. You must have no facial hair, cool brush shy or whatever your name, butt shy or whatever your name is. You must have no face. You must, what, puberty hit you late? I already know you can't grow a beard. People still think that you're like 15 too when you walk around like college or something like that when you're at work. Oh, so if PS6 get a good exclusive games, I'll still buy it. Buy it if we only live once. That's fine. I'm not telling you that you can't buy. I'm not telling you that you can't buy it. You know, I think PS5 will get great games too. I don't think there's going to be any problem there. You know, so I think I'll be okay with PS5 Pro. There's a rumor saying that private message said Sony will still allow reprints of games after January 2028 if they came out before the cutoff. Yeah, but that doesn't matter, Daniel. Like, I don't need reprints of games that we already have. We need prints of new games going forward. Think about it for a second, bro. If Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out after 2028, you don't get Kingdom Hearts 4 on PS5 physical. The problem isn't getting reprints going forward. I mean, sure, that'll help with prices not getting out of control, even though they still will. The problem is new games going forward. There's still going to be plenty of PS5 games, and obviously the problem is PS6. New games like if you're I was looking at getting a PS6. We're not going to have any physical games for PS6, so that's not anything. That's not like that doesn't solve anything. That definitely does not solve anything. That's not any better. I don't even care if they charge 80 as long as I can find it cheaper. I don't care what these companies charge. Well, yeah, I mean, I care what they charge, but yeah, as long as you can get it cheaper or you can wait, then that's good. But obviously I'd like to see them charge less, you know? Yeah, it's a bad band. It's not even, it's barely even a Band-Aid. Like, it's barely even a band. It almost seems more like a napkin on a gunshot wound. Like, it's a napkin on a gunshot wound, you know? You can't print limited run games gets those from Sony. Sony prints all Blu-rays. They put the order into Sony. If Sony does not allow physical games to be on their system, you are not going to get physical games on your system. The only time I tried to argue with people who bought physical is when they claimed they owned the game, and that meant that they could put it in and play anytime. Blacklist could stop that. Blacklist could not stop that, and here's the reason why Blacklist could not stop that. You don't have to connect your game to the internet. You don't have to connect your game and download a software thing. The Blacklist wouldn't be put default into the system software. It would be like a patch or an update or something like that. And even on top of that, when it comes down to it, if they did that, that would be a real big, I would say, liability issue when it comes down to that. I mean, they're already having class action lawsuits. When you're talking about owning a game, you have way more ownership of a game having it physical than you do having it digital. Let's just be honest here, because think about this for a second. You get a physical game, right? You can sell that game right now and there wouldn't be any issue at all of you selling that game. Plain and simple. And if you want to talk about ownership, what is the law for ownership? Does anybody here know the law for ownership in general? In America, what is the general ownership law? Not terms of service and all that type of stuff. What is the general ownership law for any physical object? Just in general. Does anybody know? Without looking it up. I'm going to ask in the chat. Let's see who knows it. I think defending comes down to digital only people needing to justify their buying preference. If Sony removes physical, it helps them justify their preferences the best way. That's still stupid though. You know, it's still dumb. It's still a dumb way of looking at it. OJ, after the latest news regarding physical games, do you think it's now possible that Nintendo could become market leader if they are the only ones producing physical games? Market leader? Probably not, no. But could they, in terms of best-selling system? Yeah. So I don't think anybody knows. Nobody's going to answer it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. There is one. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Right then and there. So that's the difference between that and a physical game. You don't actually, or a digital game. You don't actually own a digital game. There's no possession of it. It's digital. Shout outs to Joe with the Princess Peach
Is the
beatdown.
trending theory that Sony made this trick for an economic, marketing, and financial purposes make any sense to you? And then maybe coming out after saying we hear you and care about you, so we take back our decision.
I mean, there's no way that I think they would do something like that, because that is way too reckless, Joe. So is there a slight possibility? Yes, but I would say no, there isn't. You know, like it's too risky. it's too risky to do like to faint on something like this. You know, it's way too risky to faint, and they probably thought about it. So like, these are the type of things that you don't play around with when it comes to your business. So I don't see any scenario where Sony decided to do something like that and said, oh, well, we're gonna trick them out, you know, later with, oh, we're gonna go back on it. I mean, I think they're gonna stay with this decision, but I think that they're gonna have to walk back some of it. I think they're gonna have to make a plant that does specialty orders for physical games going forward in the future. So I think here's what they're gonna do. This is ultimately what they're gonna do. In Simeon Coin, I will get your 100 core crystals. Thank you, and thank you, Joe, with the big 50. You are now the Hokage, and that's a 5-tuple quadruple plus JoJo coming in from Joe. I appreciate that, man. Let's go. Thank you so much for your support, brother. I appreciate you like always. Definitely gonna have to chat soon this month as well. But here's the thing, man. Sony's probably going to do this. They're probably going to make a plant specifically for specialty orders for certain big games. I think that's what they're going to do. Most games probably aren't going to get it, but the big games that are going to sell a lot, I think they're going to say, okay, what's the order? Put your order in on PSN, put your order in on PlayStation.com or whatever, on PlayStation Portal, whatever the case. Put your order in, and then your order will ship, you know, 3 to 5 business days. You pay for shipping. I think that's what ultimately this is going to happen. They're going to have a plant specifically designed for certain games, certain high profile games, or for people, and they're going to charge $80 to $100 for those games, maybe even more. That's what I'm guessing they're going to, ultimately this controversy is going to do. But the large majority, you're not going to be able to go into stores and just buy games. I mean, that's what it seems, unless they do a full reversal. I think that's what the solution to this is, Joe. Let's get that JoJo going here. We got the JoJo for JoJo Friday. Let's go, man. Shout outs. I appreciate it. Shout out to Simeon Coin with the 100 core crystals. It says, I never knew internet around the world was bad in other areas, OJ. Yes, it is. To endure such internet speeds to take 2 days to download a certain game, my music request is Sonic Colors Sweet Mountain Act 1. All right. Sweet Mountain Act 1. Thank you for the 100 core crystals. I appreciate that. Let's see here. You look like Jaylen Brown now that I think about it. I don't really look like Jaylen Brown. We just both have a beard and we're black, so I think you were just, that's just you generalizing black people, but it's okay. But I don't really look like him, to be honest. Let's see here. They're doing a code in a box or all digital game cards like they have at Target. Yeah. I actually legitimately don't look like Jaylen Brown. I know how Jaylen Brown looks. He's a great player. He's also really tall. He's almost a foot taller than me. So there's also that. But I mean, I actually don't look like Jaylen Brown. We look different. We have different nose structure, different facial shape, different chin shape, different forehead shape. We have legitimately different everything. I was actually just watching a video about Jaylen Brown today on First Things First with Nick Wright and all them, and they were talking about Jaylen Brown being traded from the Celtics and all that. So I mean, I got a good look at his face, and I've watched him play many times. I don't look like him at all. So yeah. Let's see here. It says I'm black too, but then you are you black? Are you mixed? Oh, you're black too, man. Hey, we might need to check your card then, fam. I need to check that man's. You got a white mom? Real quick. That's crazy if you are. No, I'm just messing with you, brother. I'm just messing with you. Let's see. A few years ago, used to take 2 days to patch COD on my old internet. You're mixed, huh? Broken controller. I know a mixed comment when I see one. You're mixed. Oh my gosh, I knew it. No, might want to check the DNA test, brother. Go get that ancestry.com. Are you sure? You're light skinned. There's gotta be some type of trap or trick to this. There ain't no way. There's no way you're dark. There's no way you're dark. Yeah, no. I don't believe it. Because lots of black people have beards, bro. All black people with beards look alike. Oh man. Oh, let's see here. Says, why is it funny if someone's mixed? Don't worry about it. If you're not black, you won't get it. You won't get it if you're not black, so don't worry about it. Black as toast? Man, how you black as toast and saying that, fam? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. I'll just take it as you think I look like him then. All right, no problem. I'll take your word for it here. Let's see. Jaylen Brown is in his early 30s, right? That's a compliment. Jaylen Brown is 29. He's almost in his 30s. He's 29 years old. Yeah, don't worry about it, boo boo. It's a black thing. You got white people in the chat. Okay, let me take some notes here. Let me see what's exactly what are they talking about? What's going on here? OJ, explain it to me. Very in English, very basic. Oh my gosh. Nah, don't worry about it though. It's no big deal. It's nothing. It's no big deal. I just need to shave my head bald. If I shave my head bald and go, it's time to play the game, I'll look like Triple H. You know what I'm saying? I think if I did that, I'd look like Triple H. Oh, man. Alright, nothing wrong with being mixed, boys and girls. Nothing wrong with being mixed. Nidmar says, I used to think everyone what glasses looked alike. Alright, no problem. No problem. Why would everyone with glasses look alike? So if you saw, I don't know, if you saw a black dude that was 7 foot tall, LeBron James, and he wears glasses, and then you see, I don't know, somebody, Michael Jackson wearing glasses, do they look the same? Do you think LeBron James and Michael Jackson look the same? Because they're both wearing glasses? There ain't no way you actually think that, right? There's no way you actually think that. Like, this is what happens when you eat Chipotle 24/7. You got Chipotle, like, did your brain turn into one of the cows that you ate? Like, do you got cow brain? There ain't no way that you actually believe that, Dimbo. There ain't no way that you actually believe that everybody that wear glasses look the same. That's not even, that doesn't compute in my brain. That was me when I was younger. Well, you know what? Considering some of the stuff that you say here, you know what? I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You think we get a code in a box for PS6 or just a wall on the retailers? It'll be a code in a box. It'll be a code in a box, or it'll be like, you can just buy it at a, like, you know, you can just say, hey, I want this, then they'll give you a code. They'll just give you a code on a receipt that you can use to buy the game. I don't even know how they're gonna do it. All I know is that Sony's making a bad decision. That's all I know, is that Sony's making a really bad decision by doing this. That's what I do know, is that it's a bad decision, you know? That's what I do know. I know that it's a bad decision, and they really need to reconsider, you know, what they're doing and how they're doing it. Because it's not, like I said, it's not a great look, man. It's not a great look. Chipotle reflux. Imagine any regular person in glasses looking like Arnold from TOHT from Raiders, The Lost Ark. That'd be very unique. Don't see me buying a PS6 unless the handheld is just awesome. Yeah, I mean, the handheld, it's all digital, so I mean, that could be really cool. You get the all digital handheld and all that, but to me, I think that it's a principle thing for me, man. It's just like one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to support that because of what they're doing. So I think I'm okay with the Switch 2, and I'm okay with the PS5 Pro, and I'm okay with the games that I already have. But we'll see. I don't know. The games to me aren't good enough for me to go back on, like, you know, for me to say, okay, I'm not gonna be. I'm just like, you know, oh well, it's no big deal. No physical games, no big deal. The games aren't good enough. Like, physical games are important to me. Having your collection is important to me. I like to be able to sell games potentially in the future and stuff like that. So I mean, that's what I think, at least in my opinion. So let's see. Without a law or government intervention, I don't think there will be a solution to this situation unless there's a huge boycott from people. Yeah, the only solution right now, Joe, is a boycott. That's really the only real solutions. People keep on speaking up, canceling PSN and boycotting and sales dipping. That's the only thing that's going to fix this. The government is going to stay out. They're not going to do anything. They only get involved when they feel like there's something that's great danger to like certain like potential like monopolies and things like that, which I guess the PSN could be seen as that, but they see that there's competing, you know, there's competing stores and like there's PC and all that. So I don't know. They're not going to get involved though. Although Europe is going to get involved. They've already got multiple class action lawsuits. So there's that's a thing, you know. So if another alternate universe time Nintendo was making a deal to team up with Nintendo PlayStation, it never got canceled. Yeah, I don't know if Nintendo would exist right now if that was the case, because Sony was going to lock Nintendo out of their own system, profit-wise and like money-wise. Sony has already handed TV manufacturers over to TLC. Seems like they're gradually exiting physical everything. Yeah. I can boycott. I never play my PS5 either. Let's start PSN and cancel so they feel it. Yeah, I mean, I don't buy PSN. Like, Sony hasn't convinced me to get PSN. There's nothing on there that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta play online. Like, what have they done? Concord? Like, I tried out Helldivers. I bought that on PC, and I was like, yeah, this is not worth playing. Like, I don't, like, it's a cool game, but I'm good. I don't want to sit there and grind Helldivers all night. So that's something that I didn't feel like doing. So what games have they made that actually make me say, okay, I need to buy, you know, I need to buy PSN at this point. So I haven't seen it yet, for me personally, you know, but for other people, yes, but for me, no, not yet. LOL, a lot of people don't care about PSN. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. Yeah, sure. What didn't they boycott PSN and when it became $80 a year? A lot of people were already invested into PSN and stacked their membership, so it was kind of a weird in between, you know, where people were already stacking their memberships before the price increases. So it was kind of like, oh, whatever, you know. Sony letting retailers sell codes over to cover themselves so they can say people have options. People don't have options though, because it's still it's not ownership. It's a digital game, so that is no option. That's not an option. That's not an option to sell a code, because once again, it's not a physical game. It's tied to that code is tied to your account. It's not tied to the game, like to the code itself or to anything. Like, it's tied to the account. So when people buy physical games, they want it to not be tied to account. They want it to be able to freely sell it, freely move it around, do whatever. Once you download the code, or once you redeem the code, the code doesn't work anymore. So that doesn't get you out of anything. That's not the same. That's not an option. It's just a digital game. See, lately I've been thinking about selling my PS5 and games and just switching over to Switch 2 and PC. Probably won't go that extreme, but I thought it crosses my mind often lately. I mean, here's the thing. I'll say this. If you want to stand on business, if you truly feel that way, then that's the way to stand on business, is to support the people that are doing physical, or at least trying to do physical. So Nintendo, and obviously PC's always been all digital, so I mean, I guess that's a little bit better because you do have competing marketplaces, so there is that aspect of it, although I'm not 100% saying, okay, yeah, just throw it over to another digital place, but at least you have like JOJO, you have different places where you can get games, you have like full, like, you know, non-DRM stuff, so I get that. But I mean, I think it should definitely go towards Nintendo's, because they're trying to. I mean, if they see a huge, here's why I say this is important, like towards Nintendo, and it's not just because, oh, fanboy this, or I like Nintendo games. It's because of this, guys. If there is a massive drive of people that say, screw that, we want physical, we're gonna buy Switch 2, we're gonna buy physical. Not only are we gonna get better investment to Nintendo, but we're also going to get more on-cart physical games. If there is a huge influx of users that want to buy physical on-cartridge games and want physical, or even if they buy game key cards and if they buy the Switch 2, developers see that they're there, they want to buy something physical retail product, they will invest more into doing it. So that's the reason why I say, if you want to stand on business, then stand on business. Now, am I selling my PS5? No, I'm not. But am I buying PS5 digital games? No, absolutely not. Am I gonna buy the PS6? Not right now. Not that I can, unless something crazy, unless they change something. No. So I'm gonna stand on business when it comes to that. I'm just gonna buy Switch 2 games. I'm just gonna buy Switch 2, and if I want a physical PS5 game, I'll buy it if it's actually physical. But I'm not gonna sit there and support all digital. I'm not gonna sit there and support a system that is gonna be $1,000 and you know, no physical disc drive. I already had a problem with that on PS5 Pro, you know. The government will not get involved until people go to a court and initiate a lawsuit. Yeah, which they do have antitrust lawsuits going on right now in Europe, Joe. Yeah, they made the Switch 2 look good with the 3 options. Yeah, somehow. You know, but for me, I'm just going to support Switch 2. Like I said, gaming, Sony has not earned the right. They have not put out games good enough. Like, if their output was as good as the PS3, where they're putting out multiple Uncharted games all gen, multiple Resistance games all gen, SOCOM, and like Ratchet and Clank, and like all this stuff, if they're putting out a bunch of games all gen, they would have more of a cachet for me to say, okay, well, maybe I'll think about it. But they don't. Sony, they've been putting out live service slop, and they've been canceling live service slop. And they've been shutting down studios, and they haven't been putting out anything from Naughty Dog, and they haven't been putting out a lot of games. So they don't have the cachet, to me at least. They haven't been good enough at this point, you know? They have not been putting out games consistently. Deported with the $5 dono, and says, slight correction, OJ, PC used to have physical too. I still have some in my disc box. They were cool. Yeah, I mean, they used to, but not anymore. Obviously, that's pretty much evaporated at this point. But yeah, I used to have I have a couple PC games. I actually have Mass Effect Trilogy on PC, and I have Darkness 2 on PC as well. So I have both of those games on PC. And they're okay. But yeah, I mean, PC doesn't do physical games anymore. Oh, let's see here. Game key cards still suck. I would rather download the game digitally. I don't sell your Switch games. Well, if you don't sell the games, then sure, that's fine. Some people would like to have the option to actually it not be tied to your account and it essentially be able to where you can have it, where you can like actually own it, you know? To me, it makes more sense to just buy a game key card than it does to download it digitally, because at least I can sell that in the future if I don't want it anymore. And once again, it's not tied to my account, and I can lend it out. Like if I want my cousin to borrow it, if I want somebody else to have it, or if I want to give it away, I can do that. Whereas with an account, you can't. You've got to let them use your account or do like the weird account sharing thingy that they have. I don't want to do all that. So for me, I'd rather, if I have, like I said, I'd rather have it on cart. But if you have me the option like between like downloading it digitally or buying a game key card, I'll still buy the game key card. I'll still buy that. And it's not even necessarily about selling the game. It's about simply just being able to have autonomy to take it and it can go somewhere else. I don't have to worry about my account being on there for that game. So like I said, I can let my friend borrow it. I can let my cousin, whatever, borrow it. I can let somebody else use it. I don't have to worry about logging into my account if I'm somewhere else and playing a game, you know, so there's also that. And if I buy like a different Switch and I don't want my normal account to be on that Switch too, I can simply just take that game and play it on there, no problem, like with the new file and everything. So I like the autonomy of having that. I like the option of having that. When you buy it all digital, you lose that option. It's locked onto your account. It's locked right there. You've got to deal with Nintendo's virtual card system, and you can't do anything else with it. You don't know how you're going to feel in the future, you know. So I'd rather take the option of it just being able to have it, you know. Let's see here. I have like 180 physical games on Switch One. I don't like disc physical games because the installing or day one patches. Yeah, there's also that too, which a game keycard obviously would not be good for you on that in that sense. What if alternate timeline the internet never exists? I know some people would love to live in that world. The alternate timeline where the internet doesn't exist. Well, I mean, I grew up in a world where there was no internet, you know, at first, at least no real consumer grade internet. It wasn't until later in my life where internet became a thing. But even in the early days of the internet, there was essentially no internet. I mean, yeah, you had it, but people still did stuff off not the internet. So I grew up in that world, and that world was good and bad. It was a good and bad world. Would I want that world to exist completely today? Not really, but you know, it was interesting. Like I said, my childhood, there was no internet at all. for a lot of my childhood, like most of my, pretty much all my childhood, there was no internet. So I experienced that world, and it was cool. It was fine. But I mean, it can be scary, but it was good. I got 300 plus physical games from the PS3 and PS5. Yeah. The alternate timeline does exist. They're just not online to tell us. Well, there are remote areas like where there are like indigenous people that have like no modern technology or internet like that. So yeah, I mean, that's been documented before. Some of these people that live in certain islands and stuff like that. So that's a thing. So I mean, if you want to live in that, timeline, I mean, you can maroon yourself if you want. Like, probably won't survive very long though. Let's see here. OG, do you agree with Arlo's video on $80 Fire Emblem? You know I don't watch Arlo, Felipe, so why are you asking me about if I agree with something? You know I don't watch his videos, so. The internet took a day or two to download one picture. I mean, it wasn't that long, but it took a hot minute. I just closed my PSN account. I wasn't even doing online anyway. I just still play the physical games I have for the console. Yeah, I'm not gonna close my account, but you know, like I said, I don't have PSN. I don't have PSN Plus. So. Why are we bringing up Arlo? Yeah, I don't know. Like, Felipe's just being weird. He knows I don't watch his videos. Nobody cares what Arlo has to say about Fire Emblem. Dude's never beat a Fire Emblem game in his life. So shout outs to the AOL free trials that just kept using one after the other for like 2 years. Okay. Yeah, I remember people. Yeah, I remember I did that. It would send you like the free internet, whatever, like, or like net zero, and I would just keep using the free discs over and over and over. Yeah. Let's see. Philip just wants to trigger OJ again. I know, like, he knows good well I don't watch Arlo's videos. Nobody cares, bro. You ain't triggering me on Arlo. Like, who cares? Who cares what he has to say? It's like Nintendo, you know, that guy. It's like nobody cares what they gotta say. They're not relevant. So last gen, it took 5 to 8 hours to download. Sometimes 5 to 8 hours. Last gen never took me that long, but yeah, with bad internet, it could for sure. Shout outs to Terrence. His real name is Terrence. Yo, thank you for the 550 joules. Told me to stay hydrated. Yes, sir. I got my hydration right here. Let's go. So for PS6, fail a large chunk of players for COD, Madden, 2K, GTA 6 have to go somewhere else. You think that's possible? That's not what's gonna make PS6 to fail. Don't get me wrong. A lot of those players are what people that buy PlayStation, but I'm telling you right now, if Sony comes out and the PS6 only sells 50 million, is that a big success? Or if the PS6 only sells 70 million, is that a big success? I don't know if that's a big success if they only sell 50 to 70 million. If there is, because remember, there's no PlayStation system, main home console, that's ever sold less than 90 million. Or actually, sorry, 88 million, 80 something million for the PS3. So if they come out and they sell less than the PS3, I don't think they can see that as a big success. I think they can see that as a shrinking market. So you're talking about physical owners. Okay, maybe, yeah, the majority of the 90 something million, 100 million people that own PS5, you know, maybe a lot of them buy 60 to 70% of them, 6-7, buy PS6. But what if 20% doesn't? People say, oh, people don't buy 15 to 20%. People only don't, you know. What if all the physical people decide to not buy it and they sell 20 to 30% less? Imagine that. Beat 'em ups did get community noted, which was funny. I responded with the laughing emoji on his response to that. So I found it to be pretty funny. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. We're trying to get to 200 likes today. We're at 142. We got 300 people plus watching. I appreciate you guys coming out to today's stream. We can go over some of the new game rumors. We got some people talking about Live Alive 2. That's going to be a thing, apparently. GTA 6 is going to be a thing, apparently, for the Switch 2. We've got rumors of a potential new Metroid game, 2 new Metroid games, Super Metroid Remake, and a new Metroid game. So yeah, what do you guys think about that too when it comes to the new Switch 2 game rumors? Anything else that you guys want to see too when it comes to that? I'd love to hear some more thoughts on that too. Pocopia solely isn't Nintendo. That's between Koei Tecmo and TPC. Yeah, Nintendo didn't publish Pocopia in every single region, so that's not 100% Nintendo's game. They didn't develop it either, so. Sony can win over a lot of just having a disk drive option. Well, I don't know. After doing this, I think a lot of people won't trust them, so you have to get your trust back too. So that's the flow state with the 200 joules. Appreciate that. Love my game keycards. I do not love my game keycards, but I will be honest. Having a game keycard and having the loading times a lot faster because of it, but still having somewhat of a physical thing that I can sell or that I can actually hold. To me, it's like I'm happy, but then I'm like not happy. It's like a combination of things. Thank you for the 200 joules, though. I appreciate it. Got my Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave Collector's Edition. Can't wait for that to come out. Yes, I'm very excited for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I think it's going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. I hope Pokemon is $80 so that it could be a regular physical release. It's going to be a regular physical release no matter what, but I don't think it needs to be $80 for it to be a regular physical release. So I don't think it needs to be that for that, in my opinion. I mean, Yoshi's Woolly World, or no, Yoshi's Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is a full regular release for 70, so 70, 80, or 70, 60. So I don't think that needs to be 80 for it to be regular. I bought Metroid Dread about a month ago or two. I enjoyed the game so much as when the Switch OLED. Nice. I say that because Pocopia is 70. Yeah, that's before they rolled out the new. Remember, the new pricing and all that came into play during and after Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. So what Pocopia was or what they did there, that has no effect on Pokemon. This new Pokemon game. It has no effect on that. Once again, Pokemon Pocopia was published by the Pokemon Company in Japan. It was also, I think, published by, I think it was also Koei Tecmo had some publishing when it comes to that. They also were the developers behind that too. So Nintendo just published it here in the US specifically. So you can't really equate what Pocopia does with Pokemon Winds and Waves. Deport with the $5 says some people think this is opportunity for Xbox. Meanwhile, Xbox is too busy shutting down studios to notice. What a state of the industry. I do see people talk about that with Xbox, and I'm like, yeah, we're about to get a lot of bad news with Xbox on Monday, so buckle up, boys and girls. A lot of studios are getting shut down or getting sold off. So yeah, Microsoft's not out of the water yet. And Felipe, do you not listen to anything that I just said right now? Do you listen to anything that I just say, or do you just like to argue? Pocopia was published not by Nintendo in all regions, and potentially even Koei Tecmo in some things. Koei Tecmo helped develop Pokemon Pocopia. It wasn't just Game Freak. It was Game Freak and Koei Tecmo with Pokemon Pocopia, with the Pokemon Company publishing the game in different regions outside of the US. Pokemon Winds and Waves does not have Koei Tecmo developing. By the way, they were one of the main developers behind Pokemon Pocopia, not Game Freak. It was Koei Tecmo. It was their brain trust that made that type of game. Game Freak does not know how to make a Dragon Quest Builders, that type of game. Game Freak has never made that. The main developers behind Pokemon Pocopia was Koei Tecmo, was the Dragon Quest Builders team. They didn't just automatically learn how to make a game like Pokemon Pocopia. Are you kidding me? Like, what? And you know this, Felipe. You know good and well that it was the Dragon Quest Builders team. You know that's what it is because it's literally Dragon Quest Builders. You're telling me, but Game Freak made it. No, Koei Tecmo made it with Game Freak assisting. That is a Koei Tecmo game, and it's published by the Pokemon Company, who they opted to do that because of the revenue splits and what they're doing. Nintendo only covered the publishing costs. They were not involved in development of that game, and they only covered it here in the US. In Europe and in other countries, in Japan, it was either, I'm pretty sure it was the Pokemon Company. So, so you equating Pocopia to Winds and Waves, I don't know why you're equating those two. You should maybe more equate it to, I don't know, Pokemon Legends ZA that was published by Nintendo worldwide for the most part and was developed by Game Freak specifically. You should probably equate it to more of that, but you're not equating it to that because you just want to say something stupid. You just want attention. But anyway, I gotta make sure that I say it so people in the chat don't think something differently, you know? There's a reason you ignored Pokemon Legends ZA. Purposefully you did that. You know good and well that Koei Tecmo developed that game. You know good and well that Nintendo did not publish that game worldwide, and you're trying to equate it to Pokemon Pocopia for some reason. And I don't know why. You know all these things. You know all these things. Anyway, moving on. Did you see here? Did you see my comment when I said I don't want to live in that timeline with no internet? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm doing good, Tyler Foster. What's good, man? Welcome to the stream. What's good? Welcome. 343 should have been the first on chopping block. They single-handedly ruined Halo, and Microsoft let them do it. Let them do it. LOL. Yeah, I watched the retrospective on Halo. I'm watching one from June the King, and yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna play that franchise again. I might not play that franchise ever again. They really did mess things up with Halo. Yo, Tyler Foster, welcome back to the Elite Ninja Squad. My boy, how have you been? What's been up with you, man? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, brother. Shoutouts. We back. Yes, I played Glory of Hercules on the DS. It's an average to okay game. Master Chief Collection on Switch 2, I'll play that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of past Halo at this point, but I mean, if they did it, I'd probably check it out for work. But I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna be sitting there and playing, you know, Halo. I mean, I have an affinity for Halo 1. I have a really big affinity for Halo 1. I do like Halo 1 a lot. So yeah, there is that. But I don't know. Yeah, Master Chief Collection, maybe. Yeah, we've been talking about this crazy Sony stuff. We've been talking about it. I'm glad it's from Koei Tecmo because that means they'll go on sale at some point. Well, no, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It doesn't. No. It's still the Pokemon Company published. It still means that, and it's selling really good. So that's the problem, is that the game is popular. It sells really well digitally, and it sells real well physically. So that doesn't mean it's going to go on sale just because Koei Tecmo helped develop the game. Because publishing-wise and also popularity-wise, it's more popular than anything Koei Tecmo does. So their original IP, their IP does not have the same selling power as Pokemon, you know. Very fitting to see Rebirth on sale in the eShop exactly 1 month after launch. Yeah, it's good. It's good to see that. Good to see the sales coming in from a lot of these games. Even what's it called? Even Breath of the Wild is on sale right now for $41, I think. So people are buying that. That's why it's number 2 in the eShop right now. I think it's still number 2. Let me double check. I don't want to give information, you know, when it comes to that. Is it still JoJo Fighters around it? Yeah, it's still. It's in the title. Absolutely, it's in the title, Tyler. Yes, sir. Never mind. Read the title. Okay, yeah, there you go. Is the Mana series done after the Visions of Mana pour reflection on the market? Yeah, maybe. I mean, but no, I don't think it's done. I think they'll come back to it. They'll come back to it at some point. They'll come back to it at some point. They'll come back to it. They'll come back to it. Well, sorry, I said $48.99. When it comes to that, $48.99. So, yo, wait, no, I think Breath of the Wild went down to number 5, but yeah, Cyberpunk's on Star Fox is still number 1, so there's that. But yeah, FF7 Remake, Intergrade only $13.99, and for Rebirth $29.99. So pretty good to get both of those for a good price. I got both of those on Game Key Card though, so. Digimon shot up to number 3, really surprised, and it's the Ultimate Edition. Well, it's a bit skewed, because remember, it's not based off of actual sales, it's based off of revenue. So Digimon, it's $109, so I mean, if you get like 40,000 people to buy that right away, you're automatically going to jump up to the top, because 40,000 times 100, you see that right there? Look, see how much revenue you're making, right? You know, you've already got, you know, $400,000 or whatever, right? So if you need just about 30 to 40,000 people to buy that, which there is enough people that will buy that, right? And then all of a sudden your revenue jumps up to almost $500,000. Then all of a sudden, yeah, you're at the top of the charts because it's based off of revenue. It's not based off of number of units. So, and it's $110 for that. So once again, you get 40,000 people to buy that, or you get 30,000 people to buy that. That's a lot of revenue. So boom, you jump right up to the top. Let's see here. I just bought Crisis Core and Rebirth on Switch 2. I'm finishing Intergrade, so marathoning the whole story. Hey, there you go, man. How are you enjoying everything? You liking it? They messed up with the Visions of Mana, make it marketed on Xbox and not having Switch version. That was... I don't... That was so bad. I don't know what they were doing. I have no idea. Like, no Switch version was just... I don't know what they were thinking. They took all the money that they made from Trials of Mana and the Collection of Mana and put it into an Xbox and PlayStation version of Visions of Mana. I don't even... it just doesn't... It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. But, you know, we've seen this before where they do stuff like that, you know? We've seen this before where they do similar type of things and they end up, you know, missing out on that. You know, missing out on situations, so... I also said this on Twitter, too. I said this, and I guess some people were interested in what I had to say here. I put this out there. I said, no Xenoblade game has ever officially... Obviously, we don't have the official sales for Xenoblade 2, but it was near 3 million a few years ago. You know, 4 years ago, so it's probably over 3 million, but there's no official sales, right? It took a long time to get there. There's no Xenoblade game has ever, let's just say, sold well past 3 million units. Yet, Nintendo has still made on-cart Switch 2 releases for every main game in the franchise. Sony, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, can easily still make physical games and be profitable. They aren't losing money printing this, and it's the truth. This is like the truth. Look, we got Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, and we've got Xenoblade Chronicles X. We got the whole series. Sony can do it. Sony can do it if they wanted to. They can do it if they wanted to. They can still make as much money if they wanted to. They're just simply trying to choke out the used game market and restrict ownership of games. Speaking of JoJo Friday, let's go. Shout out, guys. I appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. So they're just trying to choke out. They're just trying to choke out the physical gaming market. They're trying to get you to only buy on PSN. They're trying to just be way more profitable. They're just doing everything that they can. You know, it's not based off of consumer preferences and all. It's not based off of that. It's really not. They just want no more physical games. They want no more used games. They want you to only go through PSN. So like I hope people. I hope people do that. I hope people actually realize, you know, what's going on there, you know? So. So yeah, man. Victor Lucas on Twitter said this, no offense to video game executives, when somebody asked him, can you interview Sony? And asked him some point blank tough questions, and then Victor Lucas said this, no offense to video game executives, you know, I like you and I know you have tough jobs, but I want to visit studios and talk to game developers who actually make the games we love. I feel like we've heard too much from game executives this past decade. Yep. Genki also said this, people keep on quoting what's called the 85% of PlayStation games are bought digitally, but this stat also includes games that are digital only and don't have physical versions, including smaller games on PSN. If you count newer releases that also have physical options, the ratio of digital games would not be as high on PlayStation. There you go. That's the truth. Shout out. And if Genki's backing you up on this one, come on, man. So, come on now, man. Apparently these games said, so this, heads up, Sony, PlayStation are taking down any posts on Reddit which prove that they're lying about physical versus digital sales comparisons and skewing the numbers. This supposed to remove my moderator. Okay, Sony moderators. So okay, we got Sony moderators that are taking down posts on Reddit. Look at this. We got the Sony's soldiers, Sony's bootlicking soldiers. Oh, goodness gracious, bro. Goodness gracious. What's going on here? You know? What's going on here? What is going on here? What is going on here? Apparently, Sony is limiting the disk drive for the PlayStation 5 orders due to orders to one per customer due to high demand. Oh my God, Lord! Yeah, because people are now buying up disk drives and now what happened? Wait a minute! I thought consumers don't care about physical. Why are they doing this? Why is there such high demand for a disk drive if nobody cares? Why are they limiting it to one per person? I guess they don't want people scalping. There's high demand because there's probably scalpers. There's a lot of people that want it, but there's probably scalpers. People that are gonna scalp it and say, hey, you want to play physical games in the future? I have to buy my disc drives. There's probably people that are just dropping like $1,000, buying like 10 disc drives, and they're gonna sell them in the future for like $150 and profit for like 160. That's what they're doing. That's what people are doing. People are scalp. It's a scalp thing. I think there's definitely demand, obviously, but it's also a scalping thing too. So it's also that. I'm just reading off some of the news from the Twitterverse. So there's also that. I thought that I bought Rhythm Heaven Groove, but I checked my Amazon and I actually never bought the game. So I'm gonna buy it today and hopefully it'll come this weekend or tomorrow or on Monday. So I thought I pre-ordered the game and I never did. So there's also that. There's also that aspect. So yeah. I've seen arguments that the PlayStation backlash is just a drop the price argument or drop the price situation over again. Do you agree? I think Kiwi said that. I don't think he said that exactly, but I know what you're trying to say, like how Nintendo doesn't care about like the drop the price thing or whatever. So here's the real deal when it comes to that. This is not just the drop the price thing again, because let me tell you the reason why it's not just the drop the price thing. The drop the price thing was not even focused, and it had no. It was weird. It was weird from the beginning. And let me tell you the reason why it was weird from the beginning. Because it was fueled by misinformation. The $80 Mario Kart thing, that was legitimate. But some people were saying it even with the system itself. Like, oh, the system's too expensive. But the system was not too expensive because we saw the specs. People were lying about the specs. So the drop the price thing was always uneven because people were lying about the specs. People were lying about, like, acting weird about what Doug Bowser said. People were acting kind of crazy with stuff, right? So the drop the price thing was just scattered. It was a really scattered thing. It was really weird, and we had too many people lying. If people didn't lie about game key cards, if they didn't lie about the system specifications and what the system was capable of, if they were fair and say, okay, you actually get Joy-Cons, which are expensive to produce controllers. They're actually 2 controllers in one box. You get a little doggo controller, you get a dock, you get all the cables. If they were being fair with their comparisons in the first place, drop the price maybe could have been more effective, but they weren't. They were acting crazy. They were making stupid comparisons to Steam Deck. The system was stronger than Steam Deck. It came with the dock. It came with cables. It came with controllers. It was a better system. We all knew that. And people that fought for that were fighting back against them. There were actual reasonable, tangible arguments. Remember, everybody that was saying drop the price, all the content creators that were going crazy, none of them did debates. Remember, Felipe, none of them wanted to debate. I debated one person on this and he got obliterated. Me and Nintendo Prime debated one person. Everybody else that was spewing misinformation and saying it's too expensive and all this, none of them wanted to debate. They all just wanted to retreat to their corner and discuss. So we had people that were telling the truth, like me and Prime and Spawnwave and RGT, and other people that were actually telling the truth that were helping counteract that. This isn't the same thing because this is pretty cut and dry, right, Felipe? This is cut and dry. They're getting rid of physical games, point blank. It's a completely different scenario, you know? So that's the big difference between like drop the price and like the narratives between there. Because like I said, people were lying. I mean, you know, people were lying about games on cartridge. People were lying about game key cards. People were lying about what's it called, the system power. People were lying about the value of the system. People were lying about the launch lineup. People were lying about everything. They were lying and manipulating everything for views. Plain and simple, they were doing it for views. OmniArch, Nintendo Dope, all these guys, Oh No Idiot, like all these dudes, like, you know, like all these crazy Schizo, Fratanga, all these people that are like Schizo PC people, they were all lying and they all ran from debates. None of them wanted to show up and debate anybody else on the topic because they didn't care. It was all about pushing a grift, pushing a lie, and getting ad revenue. It was literally just about that. YouTube is a business and they were all just making business moves. They don't care if they're wrong. Oh well, just move on to the next thing. Lie about the next thing. Manipulate the next thing. Who cares? You're not a journalist. You're just a person. So that's really what it came down to. It was just a money-making scheme, a money-making scam from a lot of these people. Let's see here. But no, when it comes to the legitimate things would drop the price, like $80 Mario Kart, those things were legitimate. I'm not delegitimizing those things. Those things were legitimate, but we had people lying, saying stuff like, oh, the Switch 2 Pro controller, Nintendo charges to use the C button. We had schizos say that, right? People that dress up in suits and act all schizo. No, it doesn't. You can map this C button to anything that you want. You can map it to any other button. You can use it as an extra button. That's a lie. It's an outright lie. That was already something that's not true. But we had people that were lying and did not want to debate or talk about those things. They just continue to spread the lie. Even a year later, they still spread lies about game key cards. They still think game key cards are tied to accounts or whatever, you know, or tied to the eShop going down or not. Still to this day. Fratanga said that on Twitter the other day and Prime had to correct him like, no, it's not tied to an account. The key cards aren't tied to an account. Like if the eShop goes down or if the eShop, you know, if they shut down the eShop, you'd still have access to it because it's on a separate server, just like your Wii games, just like your 3DS games, just like your Wii U games. Like, they don't do any research. They don't care. And they're never going to correct themselves because they don't care. You know, it's just about making money and trying to make something look as bad as possible because you hate Nintendo over Power Roll or some stupid stuff like that, right? Or they're just, like I said, schizo. So that's the thing about it. That's the reason why Drop the Price was really weird and different, because you had way too many liars spreading narratives and they were getting 100,000 views. They were getting 50, 60, 70K views. They were just making a ton of money. So they just kept on doing it. You know, they just kept on doing it. That's really what it was. Whereas this is cut and dry. Sony came out officially and said this, you know? Let's see. I never thought Drop the Price would turn to drop the physical. Yeah. There were people that would think that Nintendo games are all true physical. Yeah, exactly. Once again, there were people spreading lies over and over. So that's really what happened there. Trin says the PC grift is sad, but yeah, I know it's sad, but it is what it is. Are there any other games you thought were ordered but you never did? I'm not sure anymore. I can't think of any right now. Of course they won't, because 3 reasons. 1, they know they will lose. 2, their narrative will fall apart. And 3, some of them can't really debate IRL. I mean, exactly. I mean, it's really easy to sit there and lie and making videos and manipulate in a video. That's not hard to build up that skill to do, especially when you're making money doing it. I mean, if you're not a good person either, it's really easy for terrible people and crappy people to lie and manipulate. That's what they do. It's very easy to do that and make money off Twitter, and then you can hide it behind you're a comedian or hide it behind YouTube. Or I'm just a person. I'm not a journalist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And like I said, that's what they do, and they do this. That's what they're perpetually going to be known as, these like clowns, right? Clown type behavior. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's, if you want to know why sometimes things don't go through or hit as hard, it's because of that, because people are liars, you know. When it comes to Mario Kart stuff, that stuff I can tell you right now, as somebody who was there launch day, and listen, I'm not gonna say any names, and I'm not gonna say anything else, but I was there launch day, and tell me, my boys and girls, I have very, very, very good hearing, and there were absolutely higher ups from Nintendo at Nintendo store. They were absolutely listening to what we were saying, and they were absolutely whispering amongst themselves. I'll just say that right now. Like I said, I can't say anything in general, and I'm not saying anybody said anything to me, because they did not, but I'm telling you right now, if you do not think that the backlash to $80 Mario Kart and the people majority picking the bundle and not buying it individually, look at the sales. Look at Mario Kart World sales. Look at the sales after the latest sales update that we got. It was 14 million units before, and it's still at 14 million units. People are not rushing out and buying that $80. If you don't think that had a factor into what Nintendo's plan was going to be for the changing of pricing, I don't know what to tell you. But I can tell you right now, they were absolutely listening to that. Now, the other stuff, the console pricing and all that, that's a lot of that stuff is out of their hands. You have tariffs, you have inflation, you have a lot more taxes, you have all these different things that are factoring into the price of it. If they probably wanted to price the system like $350 to $400, probably $400. They probably wanted to price the system $400, you know, but they couldn't. So I don't think they were really factoring, you know, they weren't listening to that. But the Mario Kart thing, they were listening to that. They were listening to that, and they found a solution for it. It's not a great, it's not the best solution, but there's still a solution to it, you know. Let's see here. I can see Sony reward. I can see Sony being awards. You mean rewarded at the TGAs like nothing happened? Okay, you can see them being rewarded at the TGAs like nothing happened. Isn't that dumb? I mean, yeah. I mean, the industry loves Sony, so I mean, absolutely. I can see them. A lot of the journalists are all digital anyway. A lot of the journalists are doing. If anybody's doing fake outrage, it's definitely a lot of the journalists. Some of these Sony journalists that get free copies of stuff like that. A lot of them are obviously like masking it because they don't want to look like bootlicker. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I don't have a problem with them doing that, because at least they're not doing what Hip Hop Gamer is doing, you know. At least they're not doing that. So at least for me, at least, yeah, a lot of them are just gonna act like nothing happened. Yeah, like Jeff Keighley's gonna act like nothing happened. Yes, that is true. I think that will come. It's not true yet, but it might be true later. The True says, I'm so pissed off at Sony. It sucks that they're trying to kill physical. I'm actually genuinely mad. It's infuriating. Yeah, it sucks, man. Thing went from a longtime Sony pony basher to Nintendo grifter real fast. He makes more money bashing Nintendo, so that's why he does it. So, like I said, he can lie all he wants to, or he can manipulate, but he's not going to show up to the debate. He's not going to do. I mean, they all just mock it because, once again, they don't want to look stupid like to their audience. They don't want to look like frauds. So that's the reason why they don't. And once again, they did see my debate that I had, me and Prime had with Angry. They did see that debate, and I know for a fact that they did. Not going to say how they did. You know, I have a few ninjas here and there that are lurking around in areas, and 100% I got confirmation, at least from what I saw. I think that they saw it, and if it was wrong information, then it's wrong. But I'm pretty sure that they saw it, and they saw what happened, and what happened was a massacre. What happened was a massacre. What we saw was a. I should have been on Forensic Files. But there's no need to be on Forensic Files because we all know who did it. I would have been arrested. I should have been arrested because it was a massacre. What happened that night between me and Prime? It was Hadan and Kakuzu. It was, bro. It was definitely. It was bad. It was bad. They saw it though. A lot of people saw that, and they all said no mas after that. They said, yeah, we're good. We're good on that one. And I know, like I said, I know for a fact that they saw it, and they said, yeah, you know, we can't. I love dude, you guys got the excuses in the chat are the funniest thing. Like the excuses on the video on his channel. Yeah, well, these guys know how to talk. The only reason why these guys won is because they're big talkers. They know how to talk, and they've been doing it for a while. I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, that's the reason why. Not because we research, not because we know what we're talking about, not because we're actually being logical, not because we actually want to do what's best for the consumer and we agree with the things that are bad, that if we don't like it, we're going to speak up, like $80 Mario Kart or increasing the prices of things. It's not because of that. It's just because we know how to talk. Because we know how to talk. We're adept at talking. We learned to talk. I didn't tell you guys. I started talking when I was like 5 months old. I'm so good at it, you know? I'm so good at it. Oh, man. I doubt physical movies will ever go away. Movies are valued as a cultural medium. Well, I mean, doesn't Sony produce the Blu-ray movies? So who would produce those movies, right? Do you think the Nintendo community is more critical? Why is there? Why isn't there a PlayStation? No, but once again, it's about making money. So if it ever gets to the point where you can bash PlayStation to where you can make that type of money, then it'd be different. But he's fallen off though, Felipe. People ain't even really referencing him or watching his videos like that. So he's already been exposed as a liar. So he's seen as a joke. Like literally, he's seen as a joke. So it doesn't really matter. When Xbox finally dies, Dreamcast guy will switch to bashing Nintendo bashing. I mean, he already kind of does, but he kind of bashes everything when it takes time to do it. So, oh man, you can talk and say absolutely. You can talk and still say absolutely nothing. Exactly. Yeah, I did check. Oh yeah, the full C. Yeah, we can watch that full CNN part. I did watch some of it, but I got sidetracked yesterday, so I couldn't watch all of it. Yeah, the full CNN part with Gene Park. Okay, let's check that out, yeah?
At Ace, we know whether you grill with charcoal, gas, pellet, or griddle, we've got the perfect grill for you.
All right, thank you for letting me know about the perfect grill for you. All right.
Assembly and delivery of your new grill, along with all the sauces, rubs, and grilling extras, you'll have everything you need for your perfect barbecue. That sounds pretty perfect.
Oh, hold up.
Around the block,
ads, bro.
what you
Oh wait, hold, never mind.
need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Sony has announced that it will soon end the production of physical discs for PlayStation games. Now, the company says that starting in January 2028, new releases will be available only as digital downloads. Sony says it's a natural direction for the company since digital media has become far more popular than buying a disc. Now, a lot of gamers aren't happy with the move. Many believe that you can't truly own a digitally purchased game. Gene Park is the culture critic for the Washington Post and has been following this. He joins us now from Washington, D.C. And boy, do I ever need an education on this. So right up front, full disclosure, we've got a physical disc. You own a tangible copy. You can keep it, you can lend it, you can resell it with a digital purpose. We know the obvious. Is this just the way it's going to go? Because if a publisher removes the game from a storefront, it loses the music licensing. You can think of a million different things that are going to happen. You know, this could really mean that you don't own it anymore.
Paula, thanks so much for having me, and you're exactly right. This isn't really an issue about discs. This is an issue about consumer ownership and consumer rights. It's a question of if buying isn't really owning, if you're only buying a license, consumers should deserve to know what they're actually purchasing with their hard-earned money. And then, you know, Sony's already set a precedent. Just earlier this month or last month, they announced that hundreds of movies will be completely removed and won't be able to be watched through licensing deals that ran out of time and money. So, you know, the all digital future is already pretty much a flimsy promise. And that's what a lot of consumers are really worried about right now.
Yeah, and I hear there is a lot of outrage about this because many people, as you point out, they simply enjoy owning it, but it's also a question of ownership. They like, though, also having a shelf full of games, and it's physical, right? It's something you can hold on to, but also some people would trade them, right? Sell them. They could even become collector's items. I mean, all of that's out the window, right?
Absolutely. Right now, Sony's positioning it as something of convenience and something that a lot of people do. But consumers are using a lot of different aspects of the economy. You're not able to lend your games anymore. There's no intergenerational sharing. I like if I want to share my games with my kids, I wouldn't be able to do that. I have to share my login account, and again, there's no real.
You ain't got no kids, Gene. No, I'm joking. He doesn't have kids, but he's giving an example. He's giving an example. Thank you for the 500 jewels. He's giving an example. If he wants to share it with his kids, he can share it with his kids. But
Promise that that's going to just exist in the future. Like I have a lot of Apple apps, and I'm sure that many people out there have a lot of Apple apps that you just simply can't download anymore because Apple doesn't allow that anymore. But mostly, also, I think it'll also bring back. This is a cost-saving measure for Sony. But those cost-saving measures do not pass on to the consumer. They get to save on manufacturing. They get to save on packaging. They get to save on shipping. But the games still cost the same. They're going to cost full charge on the store, and retailers don't have a say in that. So consumers just get way less options as a result of this.
So yeah, I mean that's really that's what it comes down to, guys. That's the full gist of this. It's really just for Sony to profit and benefit more, and then us get less. Once again, Sony has gotten how much profit? Sony has made so much money this generation, and what has that gotten us? Gotten us live service slop, gotten us less games, gotten us no Naughty Dog games, no new Naughty Dog games, gotten us no new Jack and Daxter, no new Ratchet, or one Ratchet and Clank game, one new Ratchet and Clank game all generation. It's gotten us what? What else have we gotten? We've gotten no SOCOM games. We've gotten no Resistance games. We've gotten what? We got one. What have we gotten? What have we gotten? Like out of all the IPs that Sony has, we got no Legend of Dragoon, no major JRPG investments. What have we gotten? We have not gotten. They've made so much profit, and all we've gotten is shut down studios. All we've gotten is live service initiatives, and all we've gotten is a 2 to 3 games maybe per year. Not even, barely even that. We've gotten Concord being shut down. What have we gotten, bro? It has not gotten us anything with all their profits that they make. So when people say, oh, well, it supports the business so we can get more, based off of what? Sony's made more money than they've ever made on PlayStation, and that did not get us more. That did not get us more. It got us less. It got us less. So yeah, it's a false premise. It's a lie. It's not a real thing. It's a cap. It's trash. It's not legitimate, bro. But I also want to go over this too. Like I think that this is a great one too. I said shout outs to MVG on this one. Psycho Pie with the 5. Yeah, no Gravity Rush. They killed the studio. No Folklore 2. No 3D dot game heroes. No Twisted Metal. No Uncharted. What have we gotten? Like, they made all that profit. What did we get? We did not get anything. So MBG said, continue to be shocked at the amount of people. See, MBG is like the biggest PlayStation fan. This dude's like a hardcore PS fan. This is how you know it's serious, man. When you got guys like him saying, how can you stand for this, bro? Look at this. Continue to be shocked by the amount of people who are pushing back against pushing against Sony right now. At least you could do is stay silent. But to fight fans who are trying to advocate for better consumer rights on PlayStation, like, goddamn, man. Like, I agree with this. I said, look, how the tables have turned from the original. LOL. Like, this is the original, right? This is the original Nintendo the fat guy that's like... This picture always made me laugh, bro. I always thought it was funny. People would spam this picture. Sorry if you guys hear my son in the background. He's upset with the whole removal of physical games. This picture always made me laugh, bro. I'd always be like, yo, why are people... I hate it when people use it against me because I'd just be talking normal. I wouldn't even be defending it. I'd just be literally talking just like normal, just explaining something. They spam this picture. I'm like, bro, I'm not even defending nothing. I'm telling you what's happening. I'm just telling you what is... I'm not defending. I don't, whatever. Like, I don't go on Twitter and be doing all that. People would spam. I'm like, all right, that's cool. One of these days, I'm going to get my get back on you guys. So, oh yeah, now we have it. Over the last, year, over the last number of months, we've had variations. We obviously have the Sony one here, but then somebody here also put this one. This one's actually a little bit better. It's a PSVR and a Kratos. This one's pretty good too. But then if we go back to my post right here, okay, we got that one. Then we also got this Valve one. Leave the other multi-billion-dollar company alone. You got this, and this is from the Steam machine. The Valve one is funny. There's a couple different Valve ones. There's like a black T-shirt Valve one with like a claw or whatever, or like a I don't know if it's from like Half-Life or something. But the crowbar is funny. The orange with the crowbar, because this kind of looks like Gaben. You know, this kind of looks like him. So this one kind of feels like the most natural out of all. Like that's actually Gaben, like in his like multi-million-dollar yacht, or his half-billion-dollar yacht, his $70 million home. Like that's like him in his like office, just like leave me alone. Like I need to make this money because and then like this one, this. Oh, this one's funny, man. I don't know why this one's like so high resolution compared to the other ones, but is that Jazz Corden right there? I'm joking. Leave the trillion dollar company. They got the Halo. That's the Halo sword, right? That's like the Halo Arbiter sword. You got the Xbox beanie. They're all funny. The Nintendo one's funny. They're all funny. They're all really funny. But like I said, all of this started, like these were all like came into play like within just this year. Like it's not like we've been having them for a long time. People actually made these recently. Like these are all pretty. Yeah, the energy sword. You know, like the elite sword. That's when like if you like hold it and then like you gotta like focus it on like the person, and then and once it turns like the reticule turns red, you'll like lunge and just like like one hit kill them with that sword in Halo. It was always great to get that sword. It was always fun. Like in multiplayer, Halo 2 multiplayer, if you get the sword, you just go just lunge at them. I think one more thing would have been nice. You know, I don't know what else they could have added to this, but like one more little trinket could have been good. If they added one more thing. I don't know what they could have added though. Maybe like a Gears chainsaw on the other hand, like maybe like a chainsaw at the top of right here, like a Gears of War chainsaw at the top or something. But either way, it's still solid. It's still a solid meme. I give all of them a 10 out of 10. The original Nintendo one, I mean the PlayStation one is just a blue shirt with the knife and the hat. I mean that's like not as exciting, but like the VR helmet with the Kratos thing is actually hilarious. I should have used the VR one, but I mean, I didn't see that one. But I love how they're all different resolutions. Like, they're all, like, you'll see, like, one is, like, 180p, one of them's, like, 480p, one of them's, like, stunning, like, 4K. Like, nobody can settle on, like, a resolution for this guy, like, for, like, most of the picture. Nobody can settle for a resolution. Sometimes it needs to be really crappy. Sometimes it needs to be really nice. Like, and it's so funny because some of like the resolutions are low for like the guy, but then high quality for like the Kratos sword, or like high quality for like the VR helmet. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. You don't understand the joke. The joke is not because there's a God of War VR. The joke is because it's just, you know, him wearing something over his head, like a VR. Sony makes the VR helmet, and that's a Kratos blade. So you're just doing, you know, you just have a gear that's geared towards Sony. You know, that's not that they're making a God of War game. That's not the point of the joke. Oh man, but no, it's good. It's good. It's funny. It's funny. All right, back to the Blue Dragon. So he did the impossible, unite the entire internet against them. I mean, not the entire internet. You've got people defending Sony, but yeah, a lot of people are definitely not happy with this situation here, and it's almost impossible to not talk about. Like, it's like, it almost seems like it's impossible to not discuss or not talk about or not, you know, not whatever. Cause it's like everyone's just talking about it, you know. Everyone's just talking about it. They put the Valve one on the yacht parked next to the Mega Mansion. I did see some variations of it. Yeah, I did see some variations of it that were pretty funny. Like, yeah, like the yacht, or like the $1 million house and all that type of stuff. So there's also that too. There's also that, man. Yeah. Shortly after Sony states that the demand for digital outweighs physical, Sony acknowledges the demand for physical outweighs supply. Classic, yeah, classic. Classic on that one. You know, classic on that one, man. So, like I said, we gotta wait and see, man. We gotta wait and see. We got people. So we gotta wait and see what's going on. There are people saying that they're gonna migrate over to other platforms, and all that. So I don't understand people defending Sony. I don't either, man. I don't either. Did you know Gravity Rush movie was announced or rumored to be in development? It was announced. It's not rumored to be in development. It was announced by Sony. Yes, I know. The Nintendo one should be holding the Master Sword. The meme started around the Switch 1, so the Switch Joy-Cons were like a natural thing for them to hold. The Master Sword is too cool for them to hold. It would make it look not as serious, you know. You need to be holding something short, and like he's holding it kind of like this, right? He's not holding it. The Master Sword is held like a blade, like a hilt, like this. Yes, the energy sword, or like the it's not held like that, but the energy sword seems short in comparison. So you need something that can be held like this. Like a crowbar can be held that way, or something. Like you need like a dagger, right? So like the Master Sword, it'd be tough to kind of put it there, but a Joy-Con fits perfectly with that type of, you know, that type of thing. But you put a Master Sword, it makes it look kind of cool, right? You can't have it looking too cool. You can't have it looking too cool. Do you think people will forget about because they will fall to the GTA hype? Yes and no. Yes and no. I think people will still bring it up, but GTA is definitely going to be an overbearing situation, right? So some people might forget about it, but I think a lot of people are not going to. A lot of people are actually going to remember and still talk about it, you know? So at least that's my opinion. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know for sure. But, you know, you never know. Arkham's Grim, thank you for the 12 months. Getting your pure... oh, no. Renengon! Hey, yo. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the 12 months membership. Thank you for Arkham's Grim becoming elite once again. Or 12 months tune in. Late reply, but again, dumbest excuse I've ever heard in this. Banana Man debates are stupid, dumb. It's all going to happen to yelling at each other. Yeah, sure, buddy. Well, he did a debate with somebody else, though. So, I mean, like, it's just an excuse to not get the belt. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. It's just an excuse to not get the belt from me. I mean, once again, listen, man. I don't think he's very smart, but I don't think he's incredibly dumb. Like, I don't think he's really stupid. I think he knows that debating me is gonna get his channel a lot of negative attention, and not in the way that he wants negative attention. It's gonna make him look more of a joke than he already looks. So why would you debate somebody that knows what they're talking about? Like, why would you debate, you know, someone that is going to absolutely cook you? It's like just taking a gun and pointing it right there, right? Like, if you don't want to do that, why would you do that, right? And that's essentially what would happen if he did debate me. At that time, he had so many lies. The C button lie, the game key card lie, the pricing lie, the tariff lie. There were so many lies and manipulation that he did at the launch of the Switch 2. It would have been a bloodbath. It would have been worse than Microsoft letting go of all these people. It would have been absolutely atrocious. And Nintendo Prime also wanted to debate him, and he made fun of Prime too and said, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that." So like, it would have been atrocious. So yeah, that's what you need to do. Like, you don't put yourself in harm's way if you know that you're gonna get absolutely bodied. You know, don't put yourself in harm's way. And that's what he did. You know, that's what he did. Because like I said, remember, his brand isn't actual facts. It's just him talking. It's just him talking about PC being the best. You know, that's really all. It's not, and about everybody else being trash and PC and Gaben bending over for Gaben 24/7. That's really what it's all about for him. So why would you debate somebody that's gonna absolutely cook you on something that you don't know about, that you're not well versed about? playing Mario when you grew up doesn't mean you know Nintendo. Like too many content creators think that because they played Mario Bros 3, that because they played Mario 64, or because they played Galaxy when they were 17, that they know Nintendo and they know their business and they know everything about them and they know the structure and they know it. It's like, you don't know everything. You just talk, you know? So that's really what it comes down there. I did do a debate with one small YouTuber who doesn't care about the preservation and likes Nintendo games. Unfortunately, that YouTuber channel got false flagged and got deleted. Yeah. Punching down, crazy. Punching down like crazy. Like I said, fraud and coward. Really what it comes down to. Fraud and a coward. So. So yeah. But all right, though, guys. We are gonna wrap it up here. We have hit our limit for JoJo Friday. I want to say thank you to everybody that came out to today's stream. You guys were awesome. We had a good group of people. A lot of you guys came out, 300 plus for most of the stream. Shout outs to everybody that watched. We did have 2 new videos that dropped today, so I'd appreciate it if you guys check out my videos for today, guys. We had 2 good ones. We talked about, you know, Nintendo not going all digital. We talked about Splatoon Raiders, my experience with that game. I got hands-on with that game, and I cannot wait for July, late July. It's going to be rocking. So check out my videos. I'm going to link both of them here. Watch them, and if you've already watched them, watch them again. So there you go. So I want to say thank you guys so much for coming out to tonight's stream, man. You guys were awesome. Big love to Joe. Big support tonight. Thank you so much. Hokage and Stream Ninja. Big love to Deported Sicilian, Simeon Coin, all you guys that drop support. Big J, thank you so much. Daniel, flipping the switch. Perfect Image, thank you guys. Party Man, Kevin, Abby, Shinru, Dane Gonzalez, Daniel, Z, Rena Habag with the Big 10, JoJo Friday, let's go. Peter C, thank you so much. Justin, thank you guys for your support tonight. Seriously, you guys make the streams go. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. Shout out to Simeon Corn with another 100 core questions. People hate the way you talk, and I see why. I even learned a lot as well. You got me even with my answer with Elliot difficulty, and you got me with your response. Good night. Yeah, some people do not like it because it puts them in bad situations, right? So debating would be bad. But yeah, I didn't understand what you were saying because you're like, oh, it was too easy. And I'm like, well, why don't you turn up the difficulty? Oh, well, I just wanted to enjoy the story. Wait a minute, hold up then what's the problem? Like, and there was no problem with the game. It wasn't because you wanted to just enjoy the story. You didn't want a tough experience, you know? So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good, man. Thank you so much, Simeon Coin. I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate the core crystals all night, man. Thank you. Thank you for that too. And shout outs to Avalon Art. Thank you for the 100 jewels as well. The YouTube equivalent of core crystals. Thank you. The small YouTuber that got his channel deleted. It's called Darkstar777, by the way. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate for him, man. But shout outs Vatsan, appreciate you, fam. Thank you guys for your support tonight. Corey, thank you guys. Ninmar, Gina, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying Star Fox. No problem. But all right, we will see you guys for tomorrow. I think there's gonna be there might not be a Spawncast tomorrow. There might be a Spawncast. There might not be a Spawncast. I don't know. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for the stream. We're gonna stream on Saturday. So anyway, all right, guys, love y'all. Peace.